Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone Live. We have Orphan 55 episode review panel, and I have put up on the top of it that there is spoilers in this. So if anybody complains in the comments, oh, the spoilers, I put it in the heading, so it's your own fault that you haven't read this stream properly. But welcome anyway, if you have. Charlotte, just before we actually introduce the panel, Charlotte, I actually do agree with you. I think it will lose 1 million viewers. I think me and Daniel are way off. But I will introduce my panel. So tonight we have Blue Bonnet Hoovian. Welcome.
Hello.
And of course we've got Jason as well. Welcome.
Hello,
Jason.
hello.
And we got the rabbi from another planet. I keep saying another universe and nobody corrected me. But it's the rabbi from another planet. Welcome.
Hello. It's close enough.
Oh, Jesus. Right. Okay. We'll do it the way we normally do it. We'll try to discuss the good in this episode.
That'll be quick.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck.
And we'll discuss what we didn't like about this episode. I think we're going to be here for about 5 hours. And then we will give this episode a rating. Okay, one thing I will say, the villains in this episode were actually decent enough, but I made the observation, actually, that they were a bit of a rip-off to the creatures in Torchwood. What were they called?
Weevils.
The Weevils, yeah. It looked like a weevil on steroids. That's what it looked like to me. But I'll talk now in a few minutes. I'll just let you guys talk because I'm still trying to process what I just saw on TV. So we'll start off with the good.
Yeah.
Who wants to take this one first?
Well, I have only, the only redeeming quality I saw for this episode, and I got to be honest, it was toward the beginning, when you see the creatures, my first exposure to their teeth. That was about it. They look kind of, they look menacing. I was thinking this could be good. They look, if there's nothing else in this episode that has any redeeming factor at all, it could be those teeth. The mouth on those things look pretty menacing, but once you get a good look at the creature, that kind of went out the window. But I'd say that my first impression of the villain was good, and that's where it ends.
Yeah.
Same for me.
Graham. Graham is always good. He's always
Yeah,
that's a given.
Yeah, Graham was good in this episode. I did like his reaction when he was looking for his grandson, who was sucking his thumb in this episode. Yeah, Ryan was sucking his thumb in this episode. Oh, Jesus Christ, man, I don't even know where to start this. Look at first 2 episodes, as we said, were an improvement on Series 11. But this 3rd episode has definitely brought us all back down to earth. We got a lecture in this episode, actually. Do you know what? We're not even going to talk about the good because there is nothing good about this episode, except right? And that's the bottom line, and we're all in agreement of that. So let's hammer into this episode and tell everybody why it was bad. Right, who wants to start first? Because I've got plenty to say, and I'll be here all night anyway. So we'll start with ladies first, right? That Blue Bonnet Hoovian, you go ahead.
I felt like this episode was on hyperspeed, and I can absorb, but it was so fast that I was like, okay, I was asking him, what's going on? It was so much, and it would move so fast. There was not enough time to process what was really going on. And just her, the way she acts with the, oh my God, please give this woman some Ritalin. I mean, I don't, and the fact that the way she talks down to people, like she's condescending, the way she was talking to the lady that was a soldier, it's like the lady with the soldier seemed more in control than her. And
she's condescending and an idiot at the same time.
Yeah. And I mean, and the whole thumb sucking thing, I mean, at the beginning, I mean, I understand that was part of whatever I don't even know what that thing was. He was hallucinating. I mean, I got that, but when they did it at the end, as saying goodbye, was stupid. I mean, it was just, I don't even know, what was really going on in this episode, to be honest, other than there's creatures that are basically us in the future. And this is what's going to happen to us if we don't listen to Greta Thunberg or whatever. And we're going to turn into these monsters because of climate change. I mean, it is so stupid.
Ridiculous.
I haven't even begun to process how awful awful this episode is, and just Tosin Cole is the most. I swear to God, I can't believe I said anything nice about him in series 11.
I know.
Like I thought, oh, he's getting better. Oh my God! And the whole thing about the soap opera thing, and then did you notice like in it takes you away how Ed Heim, basically had the daddy issue thing. Do you notice he did that with the mommy thing? This
I know.
I
think he had deep, serious issues. Lone Wolf sent me a £5 super chat there. Just want to read it out. He says, words fail me. I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, even Cheryl has said there, and I'll read out her comment, says, not gonna like, it made me angry and bored at the same time. Also, the rabbi's face right now is totally summing up my emotional state right now. This is as bad as it got in Series 11, guys. This was preachy. This was, and look, they didn't hide the fact that little speech that she made at the end was to the whole audience watching, basically telling us it's their fault.
I felt like I was in the church of Doctor Who, and she was preaching to all of us, and we've been really bad little boys and girls. And I and excuse my language, but I said, fuck you, Chibnall. Just go fuck yourself. I mean, oh my God. I'm so done. I mean, like, I can't see how I can continue after that.
Yeah.
We need you on the live stream. You have to suffer for us. I'm sorry.
I mean, it takes a lot. I'm telling you, it really does. I have I'm a strong person, but that broke me. I mean, and I watched Series 11, and that was bad, but I think this is worse than the Bating episode. I mean, the Bating episode halfway made sense to me, and I know that's bad, but this one is just, it's a shit show.
Yeah. I mean, you bring in a supporting cast, the fella from the In-Betweeners, and you give him absolutely nothing to do except that he's stupid and his son is smarter than him.
Yeah, what was that all about?
And he was useless.
And then like the little boy, he looked like he was like, I didn't know what gender he was at first. Yeah. So I was like, are you trying to, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into it. I don't know. I mean, somebody else go, because I'm still processing.
Rabbi, whoever wants to go. I mean, I just don't know what to say right now. I am just.
Yeah, go ahead, Rabbi, because I got a few things I want to.
Okay, so I think the real core, obviously, is they turn the preaching up to like 1 billion. You know, it's like so much more than last. It's like, okay, if you ever seen Arrow, you know what's the one who screams Black Canary or White Canary as a super scream?
Black Canary, me white.
Yeah, I can like burst through walls. That was the level of preach. That the preach was turned up to that level of screech that could demolish buildings. It was this show is being made for the blue check mark Taliban Twitter, not real people. And how many millions of views is this going to cost the show? Not this week, next week. Episode 4. Episode 4 is going to take that hit. It's going to lose. I think episode 4 is going to lose 1 million views because of this, and it doesn't have 1 million to lose.
No, but do you know what? When Charlotte said it there when we did the last stream that it'd lose 1 million, I actually thought that was a bit much. But after watching tonight's episode, I would not be surprised. There was just so much wrong. Oh, sorry. By the way, Orphan 55, as I said, for anybody that's joining me, is formerly Planet Earth. He has totally ignored what RTD did in the end of the world there. It is a fixed point in time. He showed the Earth being destroyed, blah, 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 whatever. But Chris Chibnall wants to get, you know what I say? This is exactly what he's done. In the first 2 episodes, he was clever, right? Tried to win us back. And he won a few over a little bit. Not much, but we were kind of optimistic, right? And then he said, right, I'll suck them all back in. And then, but 3rd episode, I will just let loose. And that's exactly what he has done. He sucked us all in, right? Hooked us, right?
Yeah.
Hooked us all. and now he's going full steam ahead.
It's a Star Trek Discovery Season 2 bait and switch.
Yeah. And by the way, the Rotten Tomatoes audience score has popped back up.
No.
Rotten Tomatoes, and it's at 7%.
Oh my God.
7%.
Wow, that high,
God, it's falling.
They're really giving it a higher score than I would have.
Lucy just put it. It's down to 7%. So it was 8, and now it's gone down to 7. This has been a disaster. The fans, said it time and time again. Said it on last night with Bolstrek. Me and Blue Bonner were on with Bolstrek last night, and I said it then. Fans have turned their backs, and it's such a shame. And this episode just... I don't know how you think the writer from It Takes You Away last year was good enough to come back anyway, right? It was one of the weakest episodes, but yeah, he gives them another chance, and we get this shit tonight. Right.
Well, I mean,
climate change and war and how we should be better human beings and clever human beings. I get that, but that's no place in Doctor Who. It has no place in Doctor Who. If you want to put that message across, it doesn't need to be in our faces. And again, it's just typical Chris Chibnall. He just likes his ideology and his politics, and he's going to continue to do it unless we stop watching. Well, the boycott continues, and I hope it does. It has to, because I'm done. This episode has pushed me over the edge. I don't even know if I can even watch next week's episode. I'm being honest right now. That's how I feel. I was like that after the first episode last year. Okay, I've gone 3 episodes this time and it's broke me, but I really am struggling to find a reason why to watch the next episode. Okay, it's got Tesla in it next week. Brilliant. But what are they going to do to his character? This is what I'm thinking now. I'm not even thinking about what kind of story they're going to do. I'm thinking about what they're going to do to this character. How are they're going to somehow turn him toxic or something.
Oh, I know I know exactly how they're going to do it. They're going to have Edison as being an evil alien plant who's going to introduce electricity into the human race, so we will eventually use global warming and destroy us. And Nikolai Tesla will be the good person, but he'll be destroyed by. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. But more likely, that's probably a better episode. What I just said, and what we'll see.
Yeah,
probably.
Right, Jason, go on, because I know you said you had plenty to say, so.
I got a few things. There's a few things. Everyone's worried about the retconning and, that it's the Earth. And the thing is, as someone who's kind of an outsider to the franchise, I don't really care about that. What bothers me is that there's so much stupidity surrounding the characters and the decisions and let's just forget the retconning for a minute. Let's just look at the writing and how stupid they made the characters throughout the entire episode. Every time you turn around, every decision they make, someone's doing something absolutely retarded. I mean, the harebrained idiot comes wobbling in on her friggin' clown shoes to save the day, and everyone's got to bend over backwards for her. I mean, give me a break. This military woman who's trained all of a sudden decides that one of the guests who claims she's a quote unquote doctor needs to be listened to and given a ride in her military buggy out in the middle of the wastelands to drag her crew along with her crew of idiots, which I don't understand why bend over for this.
I know, right? Because then she actually says, we're going into hype. She actually says, well, it's dangerous. And then she says she'll turn back after the doctor ordered her. It actually was, you're right. But actually, when you say that, the dialogue, the writing in this was actually completely stupid. I mean, even the Benny, wasn't that his name? The
oh my God, the old woman. I wanted to throw her out.
That old lady.
And he's saying, I want to ask you 2 questions. Will you marry me? And then she goes, what's the second question? And will someone kill me? And I was like, what the hell?
I didn't hold it against
And then she goes, I killed them. And I was like, and then Yaz's line was, what's wrong with you? And I was like, is that the reaction? Is that the reaction we're going to get? Is someone not going to punch her in the face or something?
That whole scene where the dude that, Benny's up there talking is like, "Are you okay?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just being chewed on by one of these monsters. I'm great. I mean, will you marry me? You can pick up my bones at the checkout." It's just so stupid. And then stuff like that it kills me. They're running. Yeah. You hear the monsters in the background down in the tunnel. Yeah. Here's the doctor with Yaz. What do they got? Tolson down there? I think he was gone.
Oh, he's with the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another stupid thing. So
what was it? Wasn't it the old lady? It was the old lady, Yaz, and the doctor looking at this writing. They're trying to figure out what the writing says, and they're sitting there for 10 minutes trying to figure it out. Why they got a monster screaming, running up behind them. Let's sit here and think about it for about 15 minutes. And monster will be picking our bones out of its teeth before we know it. Just
right. And then later on in the scene, then he abandons the doctor, Yaz, and his grandfather for this chick that he's only met, and he met her because the two of them were sucking their thumbs and got this worm virus. Yeah. Oh, by the way, there was some kind of worm virus or something.
It was just one thing after another.
The monsters themselves were great, but they weren't used. Again, he's got. Don't get me wrong. We've said this plenty of times. There has been some good concepts within the Chris Chibnall era. The problem is he just doesn't know what to do with them because he can't write sci-fi.
He can't write. I mean, he can't
write. Period.
It's just this. If this is an example of, forget sci-fi. I mean, you put this dialogue in any genre, it's just bad. It doesn't. I don't care what genre you put it in. This is just stupid. It the military woman, after they get out of that buggy or whatever. The Hummer or whatever they're driving in. Yeah, she gets tossed to the ground. She looks like she's half conscious. Yeah, who walks up and says, "Hey, you okay?" Yeah, I'm great. I'm half dead. I'm barely breathing, but yeah, I'm wonderful. Idiot. What do you think?
Yeah. No,
I mean, my eyes hanging out of my head. What do you think? Do I look all right to you? Yeah, I'm real good.
Discovery. The monster was ripped off. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat if I can work out how to do it.
By the way, I'll put the descriptions to both these our channels in the description of the video. Cheryl was able to do it, so I'll just give a shout out there for a minute. Don't forget to subscribe to both channels here on the panel. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed to me, of course, subscribe to me as well. The link to both channels is in the link description, guys, and we will throw it up during the live chat as well. Let's try get those subs up for both of the guys that are on the panel tonight, please, that have YouTube channels. Jason, you should set up one, man.
Just have what?
You should set up a channel.
Oh, I just in case anyone's curious, I actually do. I go on Blue Bonnet Huvian's live chats. We often stream together, so if anyone's curious, I don't have my own channel, but yeah, I stream with her a lot, and maybe eventually I'll set my own up. I do think it's worth mentioning before this gets lost in the shuffle that I hated Jodie Whittaker's performance more than any other in this particular episode. I think that needs to be said. I thought, everything she's done to even remotely redeem herself was just wiped away and erased in this episode.
Yeah. Any chance of an improvement, she's actually proven now in this episode how bad she truly is. Because the episode did rely on her a lot. And she did have some big scenes in it, and she just didn't carry it off for me. Again, she is a weak link, but the writing as well. Ed Heim is not good enough to write for Doctor Who. He has given us probably two of the worst episodes in Doctor Who's history right now. Let's be honest, and there is some bad ones out there, but I could tolerate watching those classic bad ones over these two. It's a joke. And that guy from the In-Betweeners was used, as Cheryl said, for a bit of comic relief, but he wasn't really that funny. No. He was a waste, and he is a good actor. He actually is a good actor, and they made him stupid and thick. Just the same brief that Chris Chibnall uses with every white male. They have to be stupid and thick and something wrong with them, or they're evil, toxic white males. It's something like that. It's absolute. I'm just sick of him now.
It's just so par for the course because the whole friggin' cast was stupid. The only one that wasn't really that stupid had a little bit of it seemed like they knew a little bit about what they were doing was the I don't know her name or what, but she was the character who was kind of the military owner of the facility. Yeah. She wasn't totally stupid. She acted like she kind of had a hand. In fact, I would have rather seen her, kind of conduct the operation. But here comes old harebrained idiot.
Yeah,
And
that's
gotta stick her big fluffy red nose in things.
And she blamed the young girl. She blamed the young girl for the whole thing. It's like it wasn't the young girl's fault. I mean, she brought the bomb.
Have you noticed though? Every single character seems to be flawed in Chibnall's. I mean, the mother herself was very flawed. She abandoned her daughter.
Well, it's an Ed Heim thing. He likes to.
When he does fathers, it's the same thing.
It's parent issues. Apparently, he had bad parents.
Has some issues. If you do, mate, why don't you come onto this stream? We'll try help you straighten them out. You know, maybe you might write Doctor Who decent again. Yeah. Well, you've never written Doctor Who decent, but you know, maybe if you get rid of your issues with your mommy and daddy, you might. You know, because clearly it's shown.
God's sake, get some psychotherapy.
Well, he needs something. So does these writers, because they all have something wrong with them. They all have to preach about something. They all have something on their conscience that they need to get out in their episodes. That's what I think they're using this for. Any gripes that they're having with society or the way things are run, they're just getting the chance because Chris Chibnall is giving them the keys to the door, and they're writing whatever they want. And he's just saying, okay, yeah, we will do that. There was nothing. And by the way, I just want to say, BBC America, Doctor Who, BBC America, shame on you for hyping this episode. You told everybody that they watched the end of this episode because you wouldn't want to miss the end of this episode. What? All we got to see was one of the villains right at the end. Was that supposed to be some big reveal or something?
No, they wanted you to see the preaching at the end. She's sitting on a pulpit giving a friggin' SJW speech. I mean, about the climate change and doing this political ideology crap. That's why they wanted you to watch it.
But did you notice at the very end when they showed the monster, he was trying to do a classic feel.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, you're going to preach and then you're going to throw classic in our face. Okay.
And what's the message there with the ending? Like, if we avert climate change, we won't turn into mutants.
The message was, look, the creature survived and the mother and the daughter is dead. And that was supposed to be the shock value.
And she left them there.
I thought they're just going for a dramatic ending. But the alien, I just put a link in the chat where I'm convinced they stole the. Maybe I can share the screen. Yeah, 1 second. I hit share screen. Okay, fine, share screen. I've got to find the thing now. Is that the thing?
Yeah, it should come up if you're able to do that.
Okay. Share. Hang on.
I'm just so shocked. I see the Nerdaholics are here.
Okay, there it is. You see it?
Yeah. It should pop up now.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, hold on now, though. How do I? I might need to. Oh, there it is. Wow. What? Oh, BBC could be in trouble here. Oh, BBC are going to get into screenshot that and send that to me, will you? BBC are in serious trouble.
In the chat.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a few of them. 1 second.
Oh. Well. Not that one as much. Right, the body is slightly different, but the head, you can argue, well, the teeth.
It seems to be pretty much exactly that.
Is Chris Chibnall stealing other people's work and you claiming it as his own?
Well, that's what he's doing his writing.
Looks like it to me.
Oh, you need to screenshot them, man, and put them up on Twitter, man. The storm that will cause.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll grab them and I'll tweet them over to you.
Wow.
Hang on.
Well, the teeth definitely do look the same. The body is slightly different, but still, it's
pretty actionable, I think.
Wow.
What, a take on Alien?
What are they from a TV show or anything?
Yeah, we don't.
On a site called Daz 3D, which gives you 3D models for games.
Oh, okay.
And because I use it a lot to rip stuff off from, because and it's here. Let me get these others. Hang on. I'm just trying to get the screen grab.
What is this from?
This site called Daz 3D. It makes it's where you can buy
Yeah. I mean, is this
3D
so? This is a
model.
model that someone put together, and this is just a
Yeah,
screenshot of
it's for sale. It's for commercial
Yeah.
sale. You can buy it right now.
Wow.
I mean, it's similar. I wouldn't say it's there's some similarities.
Yeah, there is
I don't-
some similarities, but
I don't necessarily know if they maybe they borrowed some concept of art from it, or they used it as inspiration.
I don't think they're allowed to do something like that.
That's too close for inspiration.
I mean, if it's a derivative work, obviously that would be forbidden. But I don't know.
Right. Do you want me to take this off the screen? Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to try and tweet that over to you.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right. Wow. Interesting though. Stephen Cassidy. I love this comment.
Yeah.
It's actually
That would actually been more entertaining.
Yeah. How dare you? How
That
dare
would be the
you?
perfect companion for Jodie. Oh my god, I got to do a comic strip on that. That'd be hilarious.
You should actually.
Yeah, I totally will.
What was the old lady's name in the?
I don't know, but she was the most annoying old lady.
I forget the old lady's name.
What was the old lady's name? Anyone know?
Yeah, but let oh yeah, and
Annie!
Yaz ruined the special moment between them. He was about to propose to her. They were a couple for decades, and she comes plodding along, and she got, "Oh, isn't it lovely? Isn't it?"
Yeah, I
lovely?
mean, I didn't really blame Yaz for that because I mean, she didn't know what she was walking into. But
yeah,
the old lady could have. The old lady acted a little like she could have cared less what the dude was talking about. Hey, what's going on, Yaz? Whatever she didn't know who she was. She seemed more taken with Yaz than she did her the guy she's not married to, the Benny. Yeah, so that old lady really annoyed me.
Yeah,
Here she is. They get out of the truck. They're running from these things, right? Everybody's trying to run and not alert them. And here she goes, Benny, Benny. It's like, dude, can we just fire off a flare and let them know where we're at? Why don't we?
Well, I just slagged her off.
Maybe we can start a fire and send some smoke signals up so so they can really just hone in where we're at. Shut the hell up. God, just kick her in the shin and leave her for dead. That'll slow them down at least. Sorry.
Oh, you're right. Look, this episode has really annoyed a lot of people, and the reaction on Twitter, I actually have to say, is hilarious. Fans are just they're not happy.
Oh, Facebook, they're going crazy as well.
Not happy. Oh, absolutely.
And and Jodie Whittaker just the doctor can't take a breath. It's just she's hyperventilating she's in panic mode. She does it. She's this kind of thing just irritates the hell out of me. It just irritates the hell. Act like you've got a little composure at least, for crying out loud.
Yeah, she's on so.
Take some Xanax.
She needs some Ritalin.
Use your sonic screwdriver on yourself.
Yeah, I give something to Yaz, really, a personality or something. So she is the most redundant character that I've ever came across in Doctor Who's history. And I mean,
I couldn't figure it out.
She just annoyed me.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. It was like, you know what the problem is? You need some Ritalin. You need a inhaler. You got to calm down. Everyone else is calm. She's like the most panicked one in the scene.
Yeah, but that still wouldn't make her a commanding presence.
No, of course not. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
No, that's just to make her tolerable.
No, that's just to get her in the realm of like tolerance.
I mean, it's really actually cruel of Chris Chibnall to cast Whittaker, who is clearly a supporting actress. She really is. Why put her in this position?
She's a side character. She's not even a supporting actress. I can't. She's just playing herself.
And it's such a joke to see people answering to her as if she's so wise and experienced. That's what gripes the hell out of me. You're going to treat her like she's the knowledgeable, wise one with the weathered old. Come on.
Yeah, right. But the big reveal in this episode obviously was supposed to be it was the Earth. Was anybody like me and seeing it coming a mile away?
Yeah, it's always the Earth.
I just found it so
the only thing that made me think it wasn't the Earth was it was like, well, that would be insanely stupid.
Right, but this is Chibnall.
Yeah, exactly. And
so we should know better by now. We know.
Well, he didn't write it.
I mean,
I know, but he does look at the scripts and he proves them.
Showrunner Jason, though,
right. That was
he gives them a brief, right? And he's supposed to fit it in what he wants to do with the overall story. He's the guy that's in charge. So if he's given scripts and he doesn't like adding in it, it's his job.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not saying he didn't put his he didn't rubber stamp it. I'm just saying the guy who wrote it kind of is at the I put him.
I mean, I know
he's not ultimately responsible. I'm just saying.
True, but if you're a responsible showrunner, you wouldn't have let that script even go.
No, you probably wouldn't have. I'm just saying it came from the writer, and ultimately, Chibnall put his stamp of approval on it.
Yeah, Moffat did many rewrites of things.
Yeah, he did.
From what I understand, he didn't. But again, and people
had an interview in this month's Doctor Who magazine, came out like 2 days ago. And the one thing you get from that interview is he really likes pleasing people. Like he really likes making himself feel good about himself. So when he can tell somebody, yeah, great job. Oh yeah, I love that. Or he's like, he's hiring a minority or a woman. Anything to make himself feel good about himself.
Yeah.
So that's almost certainly what happened here. He doesn't want to tell anybody they've done a bad job.
He wants to make everybody feel good except the fans.
Yeah, he leads us out, but he wants everybody. He wants to pander to everyone else.
What was it? The comment you just had there about the fixed point in time. Yeah, I was just going to talk about that. Where is this in Earth's history? I mean, we got the classic series has some like future history lore. We got like the solar flares that. Like, where is this in that timeline? You know what? If they want to, you know what? I just retconned this, so it works. If you ever seen the story Ark in Space, which is a Tom Baker story, humanity has fled Earth for like 1,000 years or something like that. And they can set, if they want to set this story in that period, that actually works. So you're welcome, Chibnall. I just fixed it for you.
I haven't been this upset over a video since I was forced to watch a Justin Bieber video 5 years ago.
Baby.
Don't start with me. Don't start with me, Noel. I'm telling you, I've had enough.
Justin Bieber as a doctor or Jodie Whittaker as a doctor?
Do what?
Whether have Justin Bieber or Jodie?
No. I'm saying shush, give me a break.
That's like, which kind of poison would you like?
Yeah. Do I want cyanide or just someone slam me over the head with a baseball bat? Yeah.
I don't know where the show goes from here. I really don't.
Down.
It's gonna. I'm telling you, it's not gonna be.
Look. There's no hope. They need to just scrap the whole team, start from scratch.
Yeah.
There's no salvaging this.
No,
there's none.
I agree.
How can you get this far and say, yeah, we need to air that one? That's a good idea you've got there. We like that. How can you do that?
I mean, the best hope is if there's some kind of benchmark set into the contract with HBO and China. The show falls below a level of popularity, then it makes that deal null and void. If that's
that'd be great.
We might be in luck.
They've got to decide that this is a bad crew, because if they don't, they might go for somebody else. It's just stupid.
They should have decided that after series 11. I just think it's too late at this point. I just do. I mean, they should have made that decision at the end of series 11 and fired both of them.
Yeah, they've got to come to the conclusion this is a bad crew. This is a bad team. This is a combination that doesn't work, and we need to revamp everything. That's if they don't do that, they're just going to hire somebody else who sucks.
But they won't. You see,
they won't.
They said the people will not lose face no matter what.
Yeah,
Well, they're not going to admit it. They'll just, if it comes down to it, they're just going to. If they don't decide, though, it doesn't mean they got to admit it. But if they don't decide internally that this is a bad situation that we need to change, they're just going to hire somebody else who's inept and has no business writing sci-fi or Doctor Who. That's all that's going to, or acting. That's all that's going to happen. So they've got to make a decision.
Simon put a great comment there. He's just said, Jodie isn't a good actress, miscasting the role. Then again, the writing is utterly abysmal. Capaldi could make even the most cloth-eared dialogue shine and make it work. I agree. She just has no screen presence or charisma. It's just even when there's danger, Like, you don't believe her. You
I
don't
know. I
believe
dread the
her.
danger. I dread it because I know she's going to be a panicked, crazy woman, and I just don't want to see that.
Both the script and Jodie Whittaker are turds, and you can't polish either one because neither one is working. I mean, neither one complements the other. I mean, this is you can't polish either turd.
Yeah, you can't.
This is a real
Jason Buckley, that's his name. James Buckley. Yeah, he was wasted. He was. What? You get a guy in like that, young actor like that in, and you don't use him properly.
Well, they didn't use Stephen Fry either properly. I mean, they wasted him.
Nobody.
So they're getting all these big names, but there's no substance to these characters that they're putting in, and he's basically pulling the wool over fans' eyes with everything. Like, do you even notice, even before the next episode will air, by Monday or Tuesday, we will have a list of more people that will be joining the series. And they're only in it for a couple of minutes so far. Every single one of them. It's a joke. It's a joke. I've just lost me tether with this show. I'm done. I'm actually about to give up. I'm done.
Are you going to watch another? Are you watching the next week's episode? Are you?
He can't. He's already told me he can't.
I mean, I'll join the chat, but I don't know if I'm serious. I'm serious. I literally, it was so, my anger. I really have not been that angry in a long time.
He's never.
I don't get angry at shows. I was angry. I was
yeah.
Because the stupidity level of the characters. Yeah, the writing and the acting and it's just the whole bag of wax was just stupid and just horrible. All the way around. Horrible. Not one redeeming factor. Maybe the teeth. You think that's going to carry the show? The teeth?
It didn't work for Tim Shaw.
No.
And yeah, I just the relationships with the parents and the children. Like, what was the weird thing with the girl who was blowing everything up and the military woman?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's kind of. But see, that's the point, Rabbi. That's the point. They didn't have. There was no character development. I didn't care one way or the other what happened to any of them.
I didn't care.
No time for any character development. It was hard for me to
concentrate because I didn't care.
It was almost like they just cut out just whole sections of dialogue that built character development.
Here's the thing: did anybody give a fig when Benny died?
Do what?
Did anybody give a fig when Benny died?
No.
I didn't care when anybody died.
I didn't care anybody sucking thumbs or, I mean, that meant nothing to me. I could have cared less if the people at the end of the show that were left hanging, I could have cared less if they died because I didn't have any affection for them. They didn't build any affection into my, sensibilities for those characters. I didn't care.
If this was made in the classic era, they would have drawn this out.
Yeah.
And I think that was my biggest gripe because it moved so quickly. It was hard to catch anything for me. Right. I mean, I guess I'm used to the classic where it's a slow burn, Well,
they're building characters. How can you have any affection for any of the characters if you don't really know them? You have no time to get to know them. You don't have any time to like them. They're just, they just sped through this like it was like they were in a race. Let's get to the end so we can get that speech.
Ben actually makes a great comment there. He says, that point when you realize the monster just carried a random guy on a planet with a breeding machine, like how did he go and remove him?
I didn't think that.
It's not even explained it isn't. And he's going actually real fast because they say his speed was like something like 7 knots or something.
Yeah, it was like 35 knots or whatever.
Or whatever it was. So he was going pretty fast. And the wife the missus goes, that's not Benny. That's not like him.
Yeah, no shit.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Even when I'm thinking of it now.
That was another stupid. Yeah, that's not my Benny. Yeah, you think? You think maybe that isn't? Yeah.
And she just kept going, we have to go back and get Benny.
I'll tell you what. You get out of the truck. You go back. We're going to the hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
I throwing her off.
We'll drop you off here. You can meet us back when you pick up Benny.
And the sucking of the thumb business, that just, yeah.
The what is it?
The thumbs.
Oh, God. That ending scene where they were sharing a moment sucking thumbs?
Yeah.
You believe it? You buy in?
You know what I said? It's like, it's their safe space.
Give me a break. That's just,
yeah, you're right about that.
Sharing a moment with the thumbs.
Jesus.
That really busted me up on that one. I was teary-eyed when I saw that.
How did
it really brought a tear?
I don't know how the mother survived. She looked like she was right to screw.
Is this
The
the
mother,
moment
how
of
did she
breakthrough?
survive? The teleporter was going to go down or something, and she was there left with the creature. Again, the doctor just leaves someone to die.
Yeah,
This
that's what I was
doctor-
saying. They just
By the way,
left
this
him there.
doctor does not give a shit whether people live or die. I just like to actually say that. So, in one way, the doctor is rootless, but it's Jodie Whittaker's doctor that's rootless, and it just doesn't come across right. But she does leave people to die. She's no problem leaving people or aliens.
That actually would have made sense with someone like McCoy. Actually, I could have seen that.
No. She's not ruthless. This isn't intentional. She's incompetent.
Well, that's true.
Well,
We're overthinking it. You're right.
We are.
We're giving her too much credit.
You know, and the thing is, I didn't. You know, in this particular episode, it doesn't matter because I didn't care for him either way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I didn't. There was no built-in affection. So I mean, for her to leave him there, yeah, it goes against the Doctor's ethos and the character. But to be honest, they didn't build anything into the episode to make you care. So I mean, I could have cared less one way or another. Just take off, leave him. I mean, you know, it doesn't matter. Like I didn't feel anything. Now, if I would have felt something, it would have been like, what is she doing? But yeah, it's out of character for the Doctor. I get the point, but I'm just saying I didn't feel anything, so I didn't care, you know. But
like the biggest leap of logic I think you have to make with the Chibnall era is believing that she wouldn't have got her companions killed because she's a moron.
Yeah.
And how they're not dead, and it's just sheer luck they're alive.
I actually agree with you. They should be dead by now.
Yeah.
They should all be dead.
They should be dead by now.
Every single one of them.
I'm not sure why any of them want to even hang out with her. Like, why do you even want to get in the TARDIS?
See that Graham is starting to get a little bit, because remember when he ran after Ryan, there is a bit of development going on there with Graham. I think Graham is going to end up having it out with the Doctor, because there's been a few close calls. Because remember, this holiday was his idea, so he's already pissed off. So don't be surprised in a couple of episodes, him and the Doctor have a bit of a showdown and he starts questioning her.
Well, if I even get that far to see it,
I'd be surprised.
She'll put the white mate, she'll put him down then, because that's what'll happen. He'll stand up to her, and then but you can't have that.
Well, do you remember what was it, Resolution, where he wanted to basically take out Tim Shaw, right, for killing Grace?
Yeah,
she stopped him. She didn't understand it. It was. And what I think Peter Capaldi would have understood it. He may not have agreed with it, but he would have showed something. But she's just like, I mean,
no, I don't think Graham's going to stand up to her. But she's a bumbling idiot who, you know, it wouldn't matter either way. She wants it her way, and
yeah, exactly. She wants it her way, and that she showed that in Resolution. And she's showing that now. She's getting worse. She's getting more condescending.
Such a bumbling freaking idiot.
My way or the Teddy way. Shh. I'm singing the Teddy song because that's more interesting. This episode was just a complete shit show. I'm sorry, guys, right? The first two episodes we said were an improvement on Series 11. This episode has brought us all back down to earth. Right, I'm going to ask you to rate this episode, but I actually think it's a waste of bloody time, because I'd be surprised if it gets anywhere past the 3, but that's probably me being harsh. I'm giving this episode a -1.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's below a -1?
Yeah, get into the minus, because that's where it belongs.
What's the one beside a -1?
No, you can go as far, right. So it's 1 to 10, and then -1 to -10. I'm going to give it a -10. This is probably one of the worst episodes that I've ever seen. And don't get me wrong, there's some bad episodes in the classic era, but this is really a pile of crap. So it's a -10 for me, which is the highest that you can give it. There you go.
Is it worse than Arachnids in the UK?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
And I thought that was, I don't know, but I think in some ways this one is way worse.
Well, I didn't like Arachnids either. And
yeah, I hated that one.
Now would be in the minuses as well.
Well, look, this episode was, you know, honestly, not only was I not entertained, there's a level that you 0 would be like, there's no feeling. You don't, you're not entertained, but you don't feel negative. It's just kind of there. Well, I was like at the I was just angry. So when you go the opposite end, yeah, I would go -20 if I could. I mean, if it's between -10 and +10, yeah, I'm all the way at -10. Absolutely.
Okay, I hear that.
And you know what? The fact that Jason's only new to this, as you said yourself, you're
Makes
not
it all the more potent, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Welcome
makes it
aboard.
more
You
potent.
came at the right time.
Because this,
Yeah, this is really swaying me to be a fan. This is really drawing me in.
Good job, Chibnall.
When Blue Bonnet asked if you could come on, I was delighted, and I hope you can actually join me every Sunday for these reviews.
I'm gonna try, man. I'm gonna try to hang in there as long as I can. As
because-
long as I keep cranking out these great classic episodes like they have been, you can count on me, Noel.
Well,
I'll be here.
So you would like
I'll have
Genesis
you on
of the
the panel.
Daleks over this one, right? We're just making sure.
Oh boy, would I like Genesis over the Daleks over this one? She asks. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. How could anyone think otherwise?
yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
I
Tom
was just
Baker,
gonna
eat your
say,
heart
though,
out.
thank you for being biased we do on this channel, but we have someone that's new to the franchise, so that's brilliant. That's why I'm glad you're
I mean, let me put the caveat. I'm new in the sense that I mean, I know Doctor Who. I grew up with Tom Baker, but I didn't watch a lot of episodes. In fact, I didn't watch a whole episode when I was growing up, but I saw him on our local educational channel. They used to play these episodes. I've watched a number of episodes, but I'm not an avid watcher. Haven't been converted yet. So I think that's what Noel means. So yeah, but yeah, I'm slowly being swayed by season 12 though. Fear not.
Right, we'll give some of these ratings from the live chat. We've got a -6 from Raymond O'Reilly. That's generous. A -5 stars from David. I rate it because it's a low level and never ending. P1 says Ben. Sorry, I just realized I'm quite behind. That's no problem. Square root of -1 says Colin. Let me see any more. No, if you have a rating, if you have seen this episode, truly seen this episode, please leave your rating and I'll throw it up on the screen there. But this is actually really bad. And we're not saying this because we hate this era. The only people that are going to like this episode are fans of Jodie Whittaker. I know Doctor Who fan in their right mind is going to like this pile of crap. I'm being honest with you. Even the ones that have bought into this era of Doctor Who cannot say that this was a great episode. You'd be lying to yourself, but don't be surprised if you see loads of channels overhype this episode and say this episode was amazing. It was nothing amazing. Jason, I think
the chat on Twitter and Facebook right now is bad. This is like unrestrained hatred on what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
People are trashing it.
Even people who are somewhat on Jodie Whittaker's side who are really rooting for, like I'm looking in Cheryl's direction, are having questions, having second thoughts here.
That's what I mean. It's sad because Cheryl has been kind of, I'm going to give it a chance. And the first 2 episodes, as she said before we went streaming, she actually enjoyed. But this one, the third one now, I mean, you actually stopped kind of watching, 2/3 of the way through, and then you were actually halfway through, she did. So it was back to Series 11 again, because that's what was happening quite a lot with me. It just wasn't engaging. There was nothing engaging. The villains, again, as we say, they were quite interesting, but they weren't used properly. I don't know what I thought. He gets great villains and he just doesn't know how to use them.
They were very, very boring and generic. That really was like they could have been in Stargate. They could have been in any number of cheap, crappy sci-fi shows.
Well, how about not showing the alien in all its glory, right? I mean, until the end or something. Save a little mystery,
Kind of thing. They could have made it kind of a horror way, like kind of the shadows kind of thing, of people getting snatched. Like it was done pretty quick. Like we got to that stage very fast.
Right,
where
it's like fast forward.
People just disappeared and the Doctor was investigating. That would have been better, but no, it just turned into this, and it was all over the place. Did you find that the episode you had to be on LSD or acid?
Yeah, I thought, like, God, am I stupid? I can't follow this.
You don't even have to be on LSD. It felt like that you were on LSD just watching the crap. It felt like somebody who was on LSD wrote the damn thing. Yeah, and I'm trying to sort it out. And that's the thing that griped me is right off the bat, right when they get there, 3 minutes into it. I mean, they're heading into a crisis. Jesus.
By the way, I just want to point out we're not condoning using drugs, watching Doctor Who.
No,
yeah.
that's stupid.
But we are recommending it. We don't condone
I'll
it.
recommend it. Yeah.
If you want to watch this episode, you might need a few, but anyway.
Or drink, have a few beers. Yeah, you might definitely need a few beers.
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't ruin my. Yeah. I'd rather save it for after. So
you might need a few to recover from the
If
hangover.
I was watching this episode, I would be bummed out. In fact, I'm really glad. I thought to myself tonight, I'm really glad that this stream is on because I would have gone to bed kind of depressed had I not come to the stream. I'm like, oh,
right, you get it out.
Yeah, it's anger
management.
Let's go through it. It was badly edited, badly written, badly directed, with a terrible premise.
Bad acted.
Remember when
bad acting. What was that?
I said, do you remember the aliens when we finally seen the aliens in their full glory?
Yeah.
When they were out in the desert kind of place,
right?
And they were running. The CGI there, Cheryl said it straight away. The CGI there was actually crap. Go back and look.
And that, and honestly, when you got to see the monster, he looked rubbery.
Yeah, and the CGI for the explosion as well was it was like 2005's effects. It was pretty bad.
Well, like the octopus in the TARDIS at the beginning, I told him, I was like, that looks like something from the classic era. A little bit better, but
I would maintain. Look, it's what you don't see that keeps you in suspense. Stop, showing stop showing these villains in all their glory, unless it's the light creatures, the Kasabans of last. That was okay because you didn't actually see a form. You just saw these. These silhouettes of light, but in this case, you're going to show the full creature right off the bat. You're going to show it. You got a few teeth. You savor that. You savor that throughout the episode. You give people little hints, drop little things, and then if you're going to show it, don't show it out in the broad of the daylight. Put it in, some moody lighting or something. But this whole Jesus Christ.
Do you know what? Do you know the way it should have been done? Do you remember the episode where we first got Torchwood mentioned, the werewolf episode, where there was that tension, that build up? We get to see a bit of the transformation, but we don't get to see the whole werewolf until nearly it's near the end of the episode anyway. The last 15 minutes we see it in full glory. That's the way it should have been done. That way, there would have been a lot more mystery. And someone said earlier on it felt like midnight. Nope, it did not. Midnight was suspenseful, right? Kept you at the edge of your seat.
You didn't ever. I don't think we didn't find out what that was ever.
Look, if you study, watch it. Look at your favorite sci-fi horror shows. Alien. They didn't show the alien in all of its glory right off the bat. They waited till the end, and you got a good eyeful. But they did it in they did it in silhouette form. They didn't do it in broad. They didn't light it like full on. And then you look at Jaws. Did they show that? They didn't show the shark in all of its glory until the end scene or thereabouts. You got an idea, but they didn't.
This is 2020. They got to show.
I don't care. I'm just saying this was a character study.
Jason, you will love this question.
This is the lesson in bad filmmaking.
Right, this should be studied what not to do.
Jason, I'm going to give this question. I'm going to throw this question up on the screen because I know you'll have plenty to say about this. I actually do as well. So let it rip, my son.
What was the question? I must have missed it.
There it is up on the screen.
Why
creatures move into the cage? Yeah. Why did the leader of the creatures actually, right? Jodie and your woman lock themselves in that cage, right?
Yeah, I mean the logical
creature. And then the creature gets in the cage. She locks the creature in the cage, gets out the door with your woman, but then the creature tries to break out of the cage. Why would the alien be stupid enough, because they can understand the doctor, actually?
Oh yeah, why could they understand her?
And that was the point. I know that we had a discussion while watching it, and my point was, yeah, that thing looks like it's really docile and totally civilized. Like you're going to have she's sitting there talking to this thing like it really understands it's intellectual. It comprehends human language while it's yelping and screeching and okay. Well, so I don't know. I mean, it moved away. It seemed to understand, but I didn't understand why it understood anything really. It seemed like it wasn't like they operated on some. The creatures themselves seemed to understand each other, but no, I don't. The question to me right off was, why are you even talking to this thing as if it's going to understand you? That I didn't really get. But apparently, I to answer the question, I don't know. It's just that's the way they wrote it. I guess that made perfect sense because Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you might have an answer, Noel, but I don't really know.
The Doctor is able to talk to all sorts of creatures though, throughout history. I think it's the TARDIS. What's it? The TARDIS.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Translates everything
The
into
translator.
Was wherever it was. They had to teleport there, right?
Oh, they did have the teleport. Yeah, but she's still linked to the TARDIS, though. She's always linked. The Doctor's always linked to the TARDIS. They've said that before in the show, unless I'm totally taking her up the wrong way.
But does that mean that the alien can understand her as well?
Yeah, but we're supposed to hear the alien in English. But in this era, we never hear the aliens really in English because he doesn't do them in English like the way the other lads have done them in the past.
Right. So I think that's where the confusion.
So maybe they do speak back to her, but we don't hear it because he doesn't put their dialogue up on the screen.
But the aliens usually understand her, obviously, right? Yeah. But how would she? But she understood the language. I guess she understood the translator that goes on with the TARDIS.
Yeah, but
if I'm correct in saying, was the Ood, the double, the Satan's pit.
Yeah.
And the episode, the Doctor couldn't, the TARDIS Matrix couldn't translate it because it was really, really old. So that's the only time that I've seen it. Well, I'm still watching the classic back again, but in New Who, that's the only time I think the Doctor hasn't been able to understand the language or translate the language.
So to answer this question, why it got in the cage, I think that the bottom line was here was the deal. Her logic was, look, if you don't get in the cage, I'm not leaving, and if I don't leave, you die because you don't have.
Because of the whole carbon dioxide thing.
Yeah,
because we use oxygen, and you need carbon dioxide, and you're going to die if we. So it's a mutual.
We zoned out because it's that shit. We forgot that already. And how long is the episode aired? Over 2 hours ago, and we forget stuff already.
That's how memorable. Actually, you know something I forgot until you mentioned it a few minutes ago? The episode opened with the Doctor being incompetent. Again, like they had the squid on the floor. She said,
that's right.
And you've got to clean the bloody TARDIS. I mean, for God's sake.
Yeah, and she's apologising as well because she didn't know it was mating season.
Yeah.
And I was
she did
not know these things.
It was just constant bad jokes.
I think this entire era is a pocket universe created by.
I actually think it is. I don't think this is the typical universe. I don't actually think this is because he's doing so much. He's got rid of Gallifrey. Now this is Earth, right? This is telling me this is either a parallel universe or something. It has to be on a.
No. That's not in his head. He hasn't thought that through. I'm just saying, from my perspective, it's a pocket universe created by McCoy's Doctor to keep this retarded Doctor out of trouble.
It's a parallel universe of morons.
Yeah, they just put her in there so she doesn't destroy the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's gonna save it. Waste. She's gonna save the universe. You know that.
Of course she is. She has to be the hero, Jason, because all women are.
Right, it's like super rare disease.
Women are great, but in this society, women are great, but it's in the what you call it. What's that word I'm trying to use? It's yeah. I can't. Oh yeah, I'm done. Go ahead. I'll pop into me head in a few minutes. But this is just look. This all I'll say is this can't get any worse.
But, you don't say that.
You said that.
This is rock bottom right now. This is rock bottom. If he goes lower than rock, this is rock bottom. This is rock bottom.
Yeah, so you say that.
You can't go lower than this.
Hey, don't underestimate Chibnall. Right. Not even for a minute.
Look, our standards are already lower than shit. I don't know how low he wants us to go.
I really, I thought Jodie Whittaker was the bottom of the barrel, but they've really outdone themselves with this episode. I really thought her acting overall has been just abysmal, but I haven't been completely at the level of anger that I was today with the show. It's been a long time.
Well, you didn't see the last. It takes you away. Where we're talking to a frog.
Yeah,
you didn't see that.
All I'm saying is, from what I've seen. Yeah, that might have been bad. All I'm saying is it don't underestimate the power of Chibnall's bad writing. I'm telling you, it could get worse. It could get a lot. She could do much more. They could really embrace her scrunch faces and those goofy laughs and, all the hyperventilating and the panicking. She could just.
What's a more obnoxious social justice warrior talking point that they could adopt for an episode?
That's another point. They could really go over the top with that.
With what?
I mean, they could look for me. I see some of that, but they could definitely embrace more of the social justice stuff. This could just be the tip of the iceberg, because I mean, there's things about this that I see what you're saying on the social justice side, right, Rabbi? I see all that, but the things that really bother me are just the things, because honestly, as a person who's not attached to the show as much as some of the other people on the panel, I'm looking at this as a story, as a show. I'm analyzing this from a different perspective, mainly from the writing perspective and the acting perspective, not from a perspective of being attached to the franchise. So in that regard, for me, I'm thinking, I can see the political ideology, that writing perspective. But I'm looking at other things, just on the general level of writing in general, the acting in general. Those things are so bad. It's horrific how bad it is. And if for me to notice the political side of it, they would have to put forward, and I wouldn't doubt they could do that. They could do a little more in terms of raising awareness on the political side. They could go a little further to get guys because I mean, I noticed some of it. But yeah, they could make it real obvious. They did, like at the end, how can you miss that? But they could do that throughout the show in various ways that would be really obvious. So don't underestimate for a minute. They could go that direction. I think at this point they're
doubling down.
They're doubling down, but they may triple or quadruple down. This is the turd episode.
The turd. This is the turd episode. Oh my God, that's perfect.
And you can't polish a turd.
But okay, the truly hilarious thing is this: sitting in their homes right now is Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall, thinking they are getting rapturous applause from the nation, going, "Oh, that was so stunning. That was so brave, so stunning." They think that they're getting unfettered love from the world because of this episode. They don't realize that everybody hates it.
Yeah, but they got to realize something's wrong when they're looking at the ratings, because unless they're just oblivious to it.
They're both narcissists.
I know, but even so, I know that they're somebody's saying, hey, the ratings aren't as high as. I mean, somebody's got to be informing these people or they've got to be looking. I know that they're paying attention. If maybe they don't see the commentary of channels like this, but they're going to notice the ratings. The ratings are not. That's you can manipulate them to a certain point. Maybe if I put my tinfoil hat on, I could see how maybe somebody at the BBC or somehow could be kind of nudging, the ratings somehow, some way. But even so, that's noticeable. That you can't ignore the ratings. So yeah, they might be patting themselves on the back, but there's no way you can look at that and go, "Hey, we're doing a great job. It's better than ever." How do you go that way with it? Seriously,
They rolled Doctor Who's ratings, which was abysmal, for the iPlayer, the online ratings, into Dracula, which was insanely big. Dracula, they said they had like 17.5 million people use their online service to watch Dracula and Doctor Who. Turns out 1.5 million of them was watching Doctor Who, and 16 was watching Dracula. But they just rolled it in, so it's like said we had so many people watching, and just to make Doctor Who seem like less of a massive failure. But this episode's gonna, episode 4. I think the ratings, what are we at, 4.6 now? I think we are at the low 3s for episode 4.
Yeah, Jason Blue Bonnet. Oh, is Blue Bonnet gone? Oh, hold on. Says our device is not connected.
She'll be back.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's read out some of the comments there. How can the Doctor remember Prime Ministers of England and not the fact it was destroyed and called Orphan 55?
Oh, because they said that. So they completely changed the way we deal with time travel in Doctor Who. This is now a possible future. What? How does the Doctor navigate in a freaking TARDIS? Everything's a possible future because you're outside. Sorry,
Right,
that just made me go crazy.
Right. Is Jason, you still here?
I see his picture, but I don't see him.
Yeah, must be either their internet or the device. I think they might be sharing the device. So we'll just wait. Hopefully we'll get a message and they'll come back in.
Okay,
So anyway.
Red water.
Oh, there she is. Hold on.
All right. Sorry about that. I got disconnected.
I can't talk when she's not on because
Okay, that's fine.
I'm in the chat. Just it looks like I'm there on my side, but I don't have a mic or a camera hooked up over so you can hear me because we're both sharing a mic. So
yeah,
it looks like I'm on, but I couldn't communicate. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. There's something I don't know. BBC again must be messing with
Yeah,
me.
there's being
they reached over here and like
Global warming that's destroying it. That's what's happening.
tired of this crap.
Can I just mention one thing in the live chat? I know we've actually dropped a few bombs, F-bombs or whatever. We shouldn't have really done that, but
I'm sorry.
please keep the live chat clean. If there's any comments that has any bad words in it, they won't be approved. Okay, if you need to say a bad word, just say poop or whatever. But like just don't say anything.
Black was invented for us fans.
That's it. Or just say it in code. Yeah.
I'll say doo-doo.
Doo-doo. Yeah. It was a doo-doo. Yeah.
It was a real doo-doo.
It was.
Big doo-doo.
It was.
Poop.
Right, character. Right, we'll go through each one of them and give them a rating of the performance. We've never done that. We'll start off with obviously the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker. What would you rate her performance in this episode?
-10.
Yep.
-10.
Across the board.
This is actually her worst performance.
I think so too.
Yeah.
She annoyed me more in this episode than she's ever had.
And I'll actually ask Cheryl while she's here. Actually, Cheryl, rate Jodie Whittaker's performance because we know you're a little bit more lenient.
I put in the chat that I gave it
a
generous 3 out of 10 on IMDb.
Right.
I'm rethinking it because I'm still really angry right now.
Right. You're rethinking your.
Like I feel like I'm getting angrier.
Right, I'm going to give her -10 because she irritated me. Right, Yasmin Khan, I'm just going to give her a -10. Get it out there, guys. Go ahead.
-10.
I wish I could give something higher than a -10, but
I'm going to give her a -7 because I don't want to detract from the true awfulness of Jodie Whittaker's performance.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good point. That
Right.
really is.
oh, that's
Okay. That's fair enough. Yeah. Right, we'll Tolson Cole. Who wants to go?
He wasn't too bad except the thumb sucking thing.
Like
So
the thumb sucking thing, and I didn't like that he actually betrayed the Doctor and this chick either.
well, I don't even care if he betrayed the Doctor, but -2.
Yeah.
Rabbi, what do you give him?
Well, I thought I said him. I think about the same, about -7.
Okay. I'm going for -10. Didn't like him at all.
Okay, there we go. We have a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go -7. I don't think he was as bad as Manip and Jodie Whittaker, definitely. But the thumb sucking thing just actually made me cringe.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's bad. Oh.
Yeah.
It brings it to -8. Okay.
Right. Rabbi's giving it -8. I'm giving it -7. Right, who else? Graham. I think Graham will actually do okay here, but maybe, right, I won't influence it. Blue Bonnie, you can go first.
8.5.
Well, that's pretty good. I was going to say 7.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll side with Rabbi.
Is this now a plus? Where pluses now?
Yeah, we're pluses now.
Right. Okay. Jason?
Yeah, I'm going with Rabbi. It's a 7.
Yeah. I would go the same as you guys as well. I think a 7. He didn't have much to do, but what he did have to do, and I did like that scene where he panicked over Ryan.
No, like a lot of people.
He's getting a high mark for me because
the thing that went at the end where they're trying to get the transmat to work, and he says, "Do this." I'm a bus driver. That was a good line. Him putting the team together was a good line. When he arrived at the resort, he said,
I'm just a bus driver, mate. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who
I
else
think
now?
his every scene was good in this one. Now, is
Talk.
that because he's a better actor?
Yeah, absolutely.
He is a better actor. He's in Law and Order.
But he doesn't act like an NPC. You think about it, the other characters they're all NPCs and he's not. So he's.
I remember one thing, even the news articles when he's been coming out and talking, he's just been talking about the villains and the aliens. He hasn't been preaching about climate change or all that crap that the rest of them do.
Oh, he has sense not to do that.
Because he's a grown-up.
Yeah,
he knows how to play the game. See, he's very smart. He is. He probably does have his personal opinions, but keeps them to himself. And that's the way they should be. If your personal opinions, keep them to yourself. You shouldn't be preaching to the audience about them.
No, you can kiss your career goodbye if you start doing that too much. So.
Just looking.
So Noel, do you have an opinion? What's your? I mean, I don't want to steal your spot, but I was just curious. What's your rating for Mandip Gill?
Oh, me? Oh, I said -10. I gave it the same as Jodie Whittaker. I just can't stand her. She's just as bad in my opinion. But I do agree with the rabbi there. I shouldn't really detract away from Jodie Whittaker's really bad performance, but the two of them are just bad. But
I mean, in this episode though,
I didn't like it. I didn't like her at all. No, even the dialogue that she got. She's one of those characters. It doesn't matter even if her dialogue improves. She just rubs me up the wrong way. She's supposed to be a cop. Right? She's like Jodie's doctor. The both of them are incompetent, and like I don't even know how she became a cop. If that's what cops are today, well then I'm really scared. I'm sorry, because no murders or anything would get solved with her. I mean, she did two stupid things in last week's episode, and she was stupid again in this week's episode. She's just annoying. She's just annoying.
I don't care. I don't care if she's a cop. You know, that's the thing is
where her and Ryan are running with the trolley. Do you remember? And their heads are bopping like this. Their heads are bopping up and down when they're running with the trolley. It just looked cartoony. It was like Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
I think the idea of her being a cop was ripped off from one of the BBC Eighth Doctor novels. They had like a whole thing with the future time war going on this was back in the 2000s before the series came back, and they had a like a Type 400 Tardis that was in the shape of a cop of a 1960s policewoman, because it could keep it was like equals like an android. So I think the idea of having a policewoman as a companion is like saying the TARDIS is shaped like a police box. Having a policewoman is similar. So I think
that is like.
I think
you know what? Here's my thing. I don't care if she's a cop. You know, let's just take her being a cop out of the equation. I don't like her either way. I don't like her. I don't care if she's a cop, if she's not a cop. It doesn't make any difference to me. She's just annoying as hell. She has no personality on screen. No. She is literally like cardboard to me. Just you could put a house plant in place of her and no one would know the difference. No one would care. No one. It's like there's Mandip. There she is.
The thing, Jason, you believe she tried to be jealous of Ryan and your woman, and it didn't come across at all. But you could see that that's what she was trying to act. She just can't act. She's just, you're right. You could put, what's the name of Groot? You could put Groot in this series, you could, and Groot would get more likes than Bleeding Manny Gill would as Yaz.
Oh, Groot would be awesome. Yeah, that
more personality than that stick.
Seriously, that'd be more entertaining. I just don't know what he tried to do. Again, he's just confusing me because he gets it. Is he just determined to go and I know Jason says to him this part doesn't matter, but for us fans that are invested in this, the whole retconning business again. I mean, he's just totally ignored the end of the world again. He's done it again. This is the second week in a row now that he's done it. He did it with Gallifrey and the whole Hellbent thing. He didn't watch Hellbent, it looks like, because he forgot a big plot hole. The Gallifrey was actually bloody saved. Do you remember? And he totally ignored that. Like, It wasn't even in. Oh, it's just an idiot.
Well, it's 2020. It's time to burn the past. They did it with Star Wars. That's what they're trying to do. They want to move forward. It's all new, and they don't like tradition. They don't want to. They want to burn the past.
Well, I think if Chibnall is a progressive, if you're dealing with progressives, obviously they believe in progress. They have a problem with tradition. They think things should move forward. They should, advance. They have a problem with things being stale and kept the same. So it wouldn't surprise me if this just kind of is a factor that is related to that.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with change, but just in the right way.
Well, do it when it's appropriate. Don't change just for change's sake because you need to evolve. And that's there's a lot of evolution talk among progressives.
I think just do it with thought and talent, and anything can work if you do that.
Right.
Which are the two things that are missing from the writing of Doctor Who: thought and talent.
Right, but I mean because you need a woman in Doctor Who because for 50 years it's been a man, and that's evolution, that's advancement. This is the kind of garbage that they think.
It's tokenism. I put out a video about that like 2 days ago. It's representation versus tokenism. It's, I can't remember.
It's not about you don't earn your spot. You're given your spot because of either your gender, your race, whatever. These are the things that annoy the hell out of me, and that's exactly the things that they propose. Those are the things that they believe in.
When like for example, like Russell T Davies, when he wanted to do like real representation, he wrote Captain Jack, an incredible 3-dimensional character who like happened to be omnisexual, right? And that wasn't his defining. It was just. But he was an incredible character.
Yeah, he really was.
What?
He really was.
Which one is this?
He was an incredible character.
Jack Harkness.
Oh, okay.
They just think if you put like these labels on people, that's enough. It's lazy, which is everything that is Chibnall's Doctor Who. It is lazy. They do 10 episodes a year because they're lazy.
Yeah. I agree with you. I know it's making you angry. I can see your face. It's how everybody's feeling right now. It's just, I just don't know where to go from here with Doctor Who. Like, I am going to continue this because I promised that I wouldn't give up this time because I gave up Jordan Series 11 and I refused to review it any further. But I am going to review this. I have to watch it to the end because I have to see how this car crash actually ends.
Yeah, I was telling him it's like a train wreck.
Right now. But I'm going to say something right here. The rest of you don't, because I'm telling you now what it's doing to me is it's killing my passion and eating my passion for Doctor Who each week I watch. And I'm falling out in love with this show that I've cherished for over 30 years of my life. And it's sad to see.
Okay, I think I have something that can help you. That can help I have a something that I can prescribe for you that will hopefully cure this. Big Finish.
Itself too.
They need a Teddy fix.
Oh, they need a Teddy. Give us Teddy. I will. I'll put on now. Watch. Right, here's Teddy.
Teddy will make it better.
Everybody, apparently Cheryl says we need a Teddy. He's going mental.
I'll hold him.
Okay, you can hold him. Oh.
He's mad. He's mad. Season 2. He watched season 12.
Right,
You're getting.
He doesn't.
Bark raving mad.
Wow.
Yeah, you should have never let him watch that. You should have never let him watch this episode, Noel. I'm telling you. Look what you're doing to your dog.
We're going to give you a warning. Do not let your animals watch.
Right.
It turns them.
Yeah, you're going to make him vicious.
I'm serious, guys. I'm not ripping on this, and the panel's not ripping on this because we hate Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker. This is truly bad, and Cheryl doesn't hate them, right? And she's even saying herself that this is bad. She stopped watching. This is a pile of crap that shouldn't be on TV.
Look, here's the thing. I have no dog in this fight.
Yeah.
I'm not a long-time viewer. What's my excuse? You think I just don't want a woman in the role? I don't. I'm one of those that you give me a good actress. I'll be fine. I'm fine with that. I don't.
Male. You are the patriarchy. You are the problem.
Yeah, but I'm not the problem. I'm sitting here saying, "Hey, give me a good actress." I'm not your enemy, but just if you got a problem with the fact that I want a good actress.
Saying that is because you hate her because she's a woman. Even if you don't know that you hate her because she's a woman, that's why you hate her.
It's internal misogyny.
Charlotte Shields in the chat.
It's my white male privilege talking. I know.
He's extra vicious tonight, isn't he?
I'm telling you, it's Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall. They did it.
Tell you, he's really cranky tonight. Wow.
That's how you make dogs angry, vicious. You just turn on some season 12 or season 11 and let them go at it. They'll, you got a killer. That man, they'll guard your house like.
I will still always watch Classic Who.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't killed me passion for that, and it will never will, because they're totally two different animals altogether. But even saying that, Chris Chibnall's era is a completely different animal, even to Moffat's and RTD's era, which is startling. I don't mind. Look, no Doctor Who fan and no Whovian has a problem with the show changing with the times. It's always changed with the times. That's why it's lasted so long, right? It's had a knack of reinventing itself, but not isolating its fans. This new era isolates its fans. And I tell you something, Charlotte, well done. I'm going to congratulate you now, because I actually do think it's going to lose 1 million. I hope it does lose 1 million, because we really need fans now to stop watching this pile of crap.
It may lose a hell of a lot more than 1 million. This was a really bad. 1 million is being conservative.
What do you think, personally?
It probably won't happen, but I'm estimating a couple million down. Wow. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
We got 4 million, and then now I think
because you're looking at a steady decline. This is just and this is taking right back down to season 11 level. I mean, even worse. This is taking you even worse, further down the totem pole than season 11. You can't expect people to go, oh well, the next episode should be grand.
By the way, while we've been on Rotten Tomatoes, I've been getting an update on Rotten Tomatoes.
5%.
The audience score is now down to 5%.
Oh my God!
That is.
This is startling. This is going to be the end of Doctor Who. I'm telling you, Chris Chibnall, you total bastard. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care. You are. Oh, I am so. Oh, Jesus Christ. I never thought it's. No, that's bad.
But the thing is, they could turn this around. They could turn it around. Listen, it's not going to happen with this team. It's not going to happen with this writer and these actors. Bradley Walsh could stay on, but they need to get rid of if they got rid of everybody who was responsible for this garbage, and they got a good crew in there, good actors, good writers, they could turn it around. That they need to do that immediately. But if they do that, if they get good writers, good actors, I'm telling you, people will forget about this garbage. They'll move on. It's not the end of the world. But if they cancel it over this, they're stupid. They need to move on, and they need to get a better team, and they need to reconstruct.
But they need to do it right now.
Well,
they need to start right now.
Even if they don't do it now.
A show that always comes back. I think Doctor Who, that's what it's. Doctor Who's more like Sherlock Holmes now, in that you won't see it for a while. Maybe this will destroy this run of Doctor Who. This really legitimately might wipe out this run of Doctor Who. And it might be another 15 years before we see it on our screen again, which I'm actually okay with, because I like Big Finish, and I like the book and I like anything that's not this garbage. But I think Doctor Who will always come back, and I am pretty sure that just as I watched it with my parents and my kids watched it with me, they've all outgrown it now, and they wouldn't watch Jodie anyway. I'm convinced that 15 years from now they're going to be watching it with their kids. It's just that's what it is. I'm telling you
right now, the BBC, I believe, now they're never going to admit they made a mistake.
Yeah.
We all agree on that. But the BBC knows perfectly well what they're doing. They know perfectly well and you can't tell me they're just oblivious to all of the feedback. You can't tell me that they know perfectly well what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it work. They're trying to push that message, the political ideology, sticking with people who are going to get on the pulpit and play the game. Toe the line, and when that doesn't work, the only reason they would cancel is because they can't do that. But it's not going to be because they feel that Doctor Who its time has come. It's a time that's come and passed. No one's interested in. That's the only way that I don't believe that they really feel that no one cares about Doctor Who anymore, and that's the reason why they need to cancel it. No, they know perfectly well people aren't happy with this incarnation. They know perfectly well. They're just trying to see how far they can string it along and build it up and create manufacture this hype. And that's what they're trying to do. And what they need they're going to finally get either they're going to get the message and they're going to go back to the drawing board and they're going to rebuild it from the ground up. But if they cancel it, I don't believe it's going to be because they truly believe that Doctor Who's time has come. It's time to shut it down because no one cares. They know perfectly well people care.
We care, but they don't.
They're too obsessed with pushing their agenda, just like CNN and all these other networks. They all these corporations. They consolidate they consolidate the networks, and then they're all, a lot of them are pushing this message, the same message that Doctor Who's pushing, and if it basically tells me if they cancel it, all it tells me is they couldn't get their way. And they're not happy about it, and they're not going to cave in, and they're not going to give people what they want, which goes against their ideology. This is just garbage, and maybe, just maybe, they'll go back to the drawing board. But I don't believe that they truly feel that Doctor Who, there's just not enough interest. I mean, look at the ratings. There's not enough. They've got to know that it's because this incarnation of Doctor Who is a failure. It's not Doctor Who, it's the incarnation. They've got to know that. There's no way I'll believe that they don't. Not after the feedback that they're receiving far and wide. There's no way. There's just no way. So they know perfectly well what they're doing. They're just stringing this out, trying to milk it for all it's worth, push their message as far as they can. And if it fails, they may have to, this is why I say, if they start over, it may gripe them and they may not like it, but they may do it. And then slowly start to, after maybe a couple incarnations, a couple more eras, they may slowly start to, feed this back into the system. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they'll just try, maybe they'll just drive it completely into the ground where they've got 500,000 viewers. That's all that's left. I don't know. I don't know how far they're willing to go.
I have to say a lot of people are actually agreeing with you in the live chat, and I tend to agree with you as well. It's just, but here's the thing though, right? They can do that, but they're hemorrhaging us, right? And the thing about it is you're saying it could make a comeback. You're right. It could well make a comeback and it could be successful. The only problem is a lot of those fans are not going to return ever. They're never going to return. A lot of them have already decided when she was announced that they were never coming back. And that showed. They came back for the first episode and then they all dropped away. They're not coming back. They cannot forgive the BBC for this. And this is the problem they're going to have. And then what they'll try to do again then is they will try win us over like they've tried to do for Series 12. But now it seems to be backfiring on them. And then they'll try it again in their desperation. They'll get rid of Whittaker eventually. They will. I don't know about Chris Chibnall, but he's the biggest problem in my opinion. He's writing to him. I agree with you. They all need to go and he needs to start again, but BBC won't.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. I know we'll just have to agree to disagree because I really think if they get a good crew, they get a good actors, good writers, and they revive the series, come back with something strong. I just I know people say that they won't come back. I know they say that. I know that that's believed. I don't believe that. I think if they come back with something that's worth watching, yeah, reluctantly they'll stick their nose back in the pile. I've just seen it time and again. If they come back with something worth watching, they'll do it.
Right.
Interested.
Like good things. People always like it. Doesn't matter how much you've been burnt. If there's something in front of you that you like,
yeah,
it's very hard to think. You can say no for a bit, but then when you see it, your heart melts. You see it.
They'll be gone for a little while, but then they'll make a comeback.
Because I'm still fucking here. I'm like Series 11 was bad, and I'm still here. I mean, Blue Bonnie, you're still here.
I don't know how. I'm not even doing this anymore.
I suppose Jason would have a point, but what I will say is, though, if they do decide that it's gone too far and they need to do something, and they do decide to revitalize the show, well, then they better listen to fans this time around, because if they start making the same mistakes a second time, well, then I will be done. I'm serious. I'm coming to the end of me tether right now. Do you know what I mean? You have to realise they can only push us fans for so much, prod us, destroy everything that we love for so long before we snap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
don't know why. This has to be a parallel. It's the only thing I'm thinking. This has to be a parallel universe, because you cannot be this stupid.
This is stupid.
They can be, but no. The proof that people will come back is this: The Mandalorian. Star Wars fans have been crapped on like And then they put
True.
one show, like 4 hours of decent Star Wars out, and everyone was like, "Oh, okay, I like that."
Yeah, if you build it, they will come.
Right? I think if they do like a Doctor Who, if they, you know what they would do that would be smart. There's like a bridging season. Do a McGann season.
Oh, I know. I said that last night in the chat. I asked everybody.
There's the problem I have. I know people are saying let's do an L spin-off or something like that. But I mean, the main show has to be doing well before you do something like that. That's like saying, okay, well, the main show is shit. We'll just do a spin-off to keep the fans happy. I'm sorry, I'd rather them get the main show right and then concentrate on spin-offs after that, like what RTD did. I mean, Doctor Who was successful when it came back. Then he did the Torchwood spin-off. Then we had the Sarah Jane Adventures. I mean, that guy knew exactly how to do it.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. But to the
quiet look.
To the rabbi's point, though, you have to admit Star Wars has been a complete disaster. They've absolutely destroyed the legacy of Star Wars, but yet people are willing to pay money to see The Mandalorian because it's a good product.
Yeah.
So The Mandalorian is indeed a spin-off of Star Wars, and people are willing to. So I respectfully acknowledge your point, but I would have to say I tend to disagree.
Okay. Fair enough. And I won't argue with you.
But let's hope it doesn't. That's the thing is, I hope it doesn't end up like Star Wars has ended up.
No, because there's not. I mean, there is, but
Star Wars has ended up. This is the worst. This is the most dangerous time Doctor Who's been in since its return.
Yeah.
At the end of it, it's crapped on its fans. It's like it is. Star Wars, Star Trek, and Doctor Who are all in, and Marvel and DC are all in the same space. They're all.
Well, I mean, they are, but let's face it. Star Wars for the long time. You've got the three originals, and then you've got the prequels, and then this disaster. And you got to admit, Star Wars has been on life support for a long time.
Oh, it really has.
It has had one foot in the grave for a very long time.
I think even since the prequels.
Yeah, and those prequels, oh my gosh, they're nowhere in the same universe as the original trilogy. They're much better than these sequels, but they're not even in the same universe as the original trilogy. So for me, this is, I hope this isn't a sign of much worse things to come for Doctor Who, because if this is like the prequel period in the Star Wars universe,
this is getting into the Last Jedi territory.
No,
right
this
here.
is not.
Oh my God, yes, it is.
No,
oh my God,
this is not.
Oh my God, this is the worst
What do you mean,
Doctor Who episode I've ever seen in my life.
No, this is. I would say this. Let's hope this is not the prequel level of disaster that was the.
I have to agree. I have to disagree with you on this one.
In relation to Doctor Who,
I agree with Blue Bonnet over here because. I think this is the worst.
It's not quite there, but it's getting there.
No, but I'm saying let's hope this is not the beginning of where the prequels in Star Wars began their long journey of disaster. I mean, let's hope that this is not where Doctor Who's at, and it gets much worse, because when they started with the prequels, I wasn't convinced that they were great. That was great movie making. I thought, compared to the original trilogy, that was. I mean, it wasn't the worst thing I've seen, but I was not impressed. And now we've got these sequels. I'm just saying there's a parallel here. I just hope that it doesn't get much worse than this in the Doctor Who franchise, because it could get worse. I know people don't say that, but I just couldn't imagine that it could get worse in terms of these prequels for Star Wars. I couldn't imagine that being a whole lot worse, because I thought, Jar Jar Binks and, it got really ridiculous. I mean, there was some.
The sequel trilogy has made the prequel trilogy so much better.
Oh yeah, I would much rather watch the prequels.
The Jodie Whittaker era has made the Clara era so much better.
Yeah,
and let's hope there's not a follow-up era to this Jodie Whittaker era that makes Jodie Whittaker look appealing.
It can't be. Okay,
you say that, but I'm telling you right now.
Oh God, you're kidding me.
Let's face it, it could happen. You could get somebody.
Don't say that.
Hey, I'm just saying, Mandip Gill could be like, they could hire somebody on the level of Mandip Gill to play the doctor, and we'd all be saying, God, I thought Jodie Whittaker was awful.
No, not Mandip Gill.
Oh, now you're actually taking the piss right now.
I'm saying that, you don't put it past the BBC.
Okay.
You're making a mistake. I'm telling you.
Oh my!
Don't say that.
You know what Jodie leaves after the first episode the next year?
That they wouldn't go for any worse.
Oh, you think that?
No.
Yeah.
Chibnall stays, Whittaker leaves, they bring in a trans actress.
Oh.
That's who's the next Doctor Who's going to be.
I
Who's that?
think it might be a black woman, to be quite honest with you, or maybe Sasha, as the rumor is suggesting might be the case. It could be Sasha, so it'll be either a woman of color or a man of color. Which
Well,
I've no
Goldberg wanted to be
and I'm
the
just
first
gonna
female
say it
doctor,
right
from what
now.
I understand too.
I have no problem with that. The actor and actress that they get are actually better than what we have now at this stage. All I want is this show to get better, but it's not getting any better right now. The first 2 episodes compared to this are a masterpiece. Trust me, this is probably this is bad. This is as bad as it's gotten. And I just after that episode, I don't even remember what happened.
I know.
So the trailer. Does anybody even remember the trailer?
Yeah, it's a Tesla one.
Oh,
I didn't even watch the trailer. I didn't bother.
Yeah,
It's
it's
angry.
an interesting one, but again,
I didn't even bother watching the trailer because it's probably going to be shit anyway.
Okay, guys, you got to listen to Big Finish this week. That's the only way to get yourself through this.
I've been watching Classic, and
I'm actually doing a classic stream during the week because I just want to forget about this. So I'm going to do a classic stream maybe tomorrow night because I just can't talk about this till next week. I'll do whatever articles come out, all the propaganda articles. Wait, you see, actually, someone has said the women of who are praising this episode. Well, that's no surprise anyway. At the Guardian are praising it.
The Guardian said it is thrilling.
Oh, the Guardian said it's a thrilling episode.
Yeah,
so
they loved it.
Oh
so the Guardian love it.
How much are they getting paid by the BBC to say that?
Yeah. Well, they were skating a few days ago, but they change, they chop and change with the wind, the media. I wouldn't be listening to them. But yeah, there's going to be spin. I told you, they're going to spin this and make it out to be better than what it is. They've been overhyping all these episodes, especially the Spyfall one, so they're probably going to be in overdrive. I'm just sick and tired of this show now. And I never thought I'd say that. I am. I'm sick and tired of it. I mean, what? Show me. What's this?
My husband had to step away. His mom is really sick. He's probably gonna take her to the emergency room. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she's. I think she's got the flu.
Robert,
he'll be back in a little bit.
No, it's just some guy.
So some guy called Robert Perry put up on Twitter. This is brilliant. He has a picture of Matt Smith, and it has well, you just killed the mood, and he goes, me watching Orphan 55 after the highly enjoyable Spyfall # Doctor Who. Not happy.
Yeah.
What did you think of Orphan 55? Doctor Who magazine asks. I don't want to go on there. Probably.
But I don't know. Do you get the feeling that Doctor Who magazine has kind of like been kidnapped and held captive? Like
a gun to their head.
Like Paddy Hearst, remember?
Gun to their head.
Doctor Who magazine attacked me anyway on Twitter and told me that I shouldn't be talking the way I'm talking about Doctor Who.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Because you're a white man. Is that why?
I have wrote the Time ladies as well, right, for the Doctor Who magazine, and I've had a run in with one of the girls in particular because she's just a man hating. She should have been in that Witchfinders episode. She would have suited. She would have been perfect in that. She's just vile. She attacks all the male fandom and then has the cheek then to go and ask.
What would she say to a person like me? I wonder. What excuse would she have then?
I don't see her attacking women. She always goes for the men. She definitely has a issue with men, to be quite honest. But she will be praising this episode as well. But she says that she doesn't work for BBC, but she writes for the Doctor Who magazine. So whether she's freelance or not, she's a BBC shill, so she'll praise this just like the rest of all the BBC shills. And you can imagine what's his name, Mr. Tardis Reviews is gonna give this an epic. This is gonna be an epic episode to him, wait you see. Yeah, I just hate it. I just hate them. Yeah, Crystal D. Yeah, I had a run in with Crystal D as well. Yeah. Yeah, how can we forget her, says Stephen Cassidy? You're right. They don't like me, the BBC. I hate them. I'm done with. I just can't. It's gonna take a lot for me to watch next week's episode, but I'll watch it.
Metro Entertainment said some will criticize Orphan 55 for being too woke. We just appreciate that it was an extremely enjoyable episode of television.
Take all that out, and it's still bad.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Twitter Taliban. That's like.
What?
Doctor Who review. Orphan 55 is a brilliant woke sci-fi tale.
Wow, they've even admitted that it's a great woke sci-fi tale.
Yes.
They don't care anymore. You see, they just. It's sad to see Doctor Who become a vehicle for political ideology and all this other stuff. It's not the way it was done in the past. If they wanted to actually address these issues, they did it within the confines of the show. He's just breaking all the rules. Chris Chibnall has just broken all the Doctor Who rules that are in place, basically.
Yeah, and thus he has a 5% of Rotten Tomatoes.
It's still 5%, is it?
Yeah, 1 second. Let's see if it's gone down anymore. Let's have a look.
Yeah,
I hope it goes down to 0%.
Yeah, it was 7 when we started. Then it went down to 6. Now it's on 5, so it's 5%.
It so deserves that 5%.
And you know what? We're only 3 episodes in. The whole of Series 11 got a 22. I think it stopped at 22%.
Wow.
This is lower. And we said that Series 12 is an improvement on Series 11.
But we also said by series of the episode 3 we would know where it was the direction.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Yeah. And we were right.
Wow. They tripled and quadrupled.
I even think Rose is better than this episode.
Oh, it is. Rose is, and do you know what's even better than it? And I actually love it anyway, but I know a lot of fans hate it, so I'm going to throw it out there. This is worse than Love and Monsters. And I don't care.
Love and Monsters.
Yes, it really is. It's actually Sleep No More. Sleep No More is a better episode.
It's worse than Love and Monsters. I know, Rabbi, you disagree, do you?
I love and Monsters was always I basically love everything Russell T Davies.
Right.
That's one of my favorite eras.
The only good thing about Love and Monsters is the ELO soundtrack.
Well,
I have to say I love that.
I didn't take that episode too seriously. That's why I love it.
It's a fun episode.
Hellbent.
No, I'm not watching
I would
Hellbent.
rather watch Hellbent.
Would you? You'd rather watch Hellbent?
Did you
No.
think Hellbent was worse
Cool.
than that?
Oh, I think Hellbent is on the same level par as this episode. I couldn't watch Hellbent or this again.
Wait. Love and Monsters has a paving slab that gives blowjobs. I mean, like how much better could that be?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
that wins, isn't it? By the way, that was that other show, Carnival Row on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I love that show is because it's the best fairy sex I've ever seen on TV.
Yeah,
That was the first
I did watch that.
It was
There's
awesome.
parts that were good. I guess I'm just not into the world that they created. But yeah, that's not another thing. But I mean, it was okay. But yeah, that was some things you just can't unsee.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, I'll keep that. There you go. Things in there.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think Sleep No More was better than this.
what was?
What was?
Sleep No More
Yeah.
with Capaldi was better than this. And that was a horrible episode. That was awful. That was
I think everything prior to season 11 was better than this.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? I get criticised for this because I actually don't mind Series 10. I know it gets criticised.
I don't mind it either.
I love
Yeah,
I actually love the episode Smile. That's one of my favourite episodes. I love
Oh,
that.
that's a great episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind Series 10. That wasn't my favorite. I liked Series 8 better.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's much better series. But
I mean,
series
Deep Breath.
10
I mean, that that first episode was like, oh, that was good. I like that one. I like that.
We forgot one thing actually, the soundtrack or the lack of.
Was there music?
Oh, was there any music
Yeah,
in
you
it?
made commented on it of how I made it.
Oh, he actually apparently there was music in it. See, it was unforgettable. You need more gold in those situations. I'm sorry. Again, it lacked atmosphere, didn't it? It just someone said earlier in the comments it was a bit like Midnight. I'm sorry, but the only reason why I bring that up again is because Midnight was tense. Midnight got you at the edge of your seat. I mean, the scene where the thing is tapping on the carriage while they're all inside, that's actually pretty terrifying. Your woman, Sky, she's absolutely terrified, and then it goes into her, and then you have the whole dialogue between her and Tennant. It was very intense. There was nothing intense in this episode. The dialogue was, as Jason has pointed out, was actually stupid.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Comparing Orphan 55 to Midnight is like comparing caviar to fish paste.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. Oh, I don't know. Jason, have you any more to say about this?
He's actually had to step away. He has to take his mom to the doctor. She's got 102 fever, so.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Do you as well, or are you out? Do you need to head off as well?
No, he can take her. She just needs to go to the doctor. I think she's got the flu.
Tell him that we're thinking of him, and
okay, I will. Yeah, he said he'll be back hopefully, but he may not. It depends on how long it takes. But
well, Blue Bonnet, is there anything else then you would like to add to this train wreck?
Don't watch this show unless you just absolutely have to review it.
Listen, if you're depressed, this is bad for your health.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If you have high blood pressure, I don't recommend it.
No. Don't.
Even on medication.
No, just don't do it to yourself. It's there's no need, right? I mean, I'm gonna do this, but I'm telling you now, I'm struggling right now to even watch the next episode. It does have Tesla in it, and Tesla is someone that has always I watch a lot of the documentaries and all the conspiracy theories around all these inventions and stuff. So it's someone that's interested me. The problem with Chris Chibnall, as I've mentioned before, when it comes to historical characters, we learn absolutely nothing about them. Nothing. He doesn't let, or even new information that we've never heard before. We do not get a history lesson in Chris Chibnall's historical episodes. So I'm actually scared to think of what he's going to do with poor Tesla. Hopefully he's a good guy in it, because I consider him a good guy.
Nothing good. What is he going to do? Nothing good. That's what we can be reasonably sure of. You know, that's at least you can be like, you can predict that it's going to be horrible and awful.
The doctor's going to give him a lecture for being a white male.
And he obviously stole electricity from
a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanted to interject real quick and say, guys, I'll be back if I can. I have to bow out for a little bit, but I've been really enjoyed the chat. Appreciate it, Rabbi, Noel, all you guys. It's been great. So if I can come back in time, I will.
No problem. Listen, you just look after your mom, and we're all sending our prayers, and hopefully everything works out, mate. Talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Right.
Can I do something to try and cheer people up?
Yeah.
Hey, I've been doing these. I'm doing these DVD giveaways every week on my channel of classic and modern Who, and I'm doing there's only 2 people, and Blue Bonnet Who, you are one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have this is the box that I'm giving away.
Okay.
I put both the names here. I'm gonna pull out whoever it is. I hope it's gonna be you.
I hope so too.
Let's see. 1 second. It is 50-50 chance, and you won.
Oh, yay!
We'll touch base on Twitter and or somehow
Congratulations.
I'll work out how to remember. Whereabouts are you? The States, right?
Yeah.
No problem. So yes, these will be winging their way to you. And
Yay.
maybe the chat can help us to pick what's the next thing we'll give away. Oh, if you want to win them, subscribe to my channel, and I give a hashtag each week. Just comment with a hashtag. I do a drawing of everybody who's in the hashtag. So 1 second. We have the next one's to give away are the specials.
Oh.
I don't want to enter because it'd be unfair, but I would enter.
The complete full series.
Oh, look at that! Oh man,
You should enter.
This is why we love
because it won't be fair. It won't be fair because then if I won, people will be thinking fix and all that crap. So no. But listen, do subscribe to his channel, guys. The link is in the live chat and in the description of this stream if you want to win those DVDs. What else are you giving away?
We got the third series.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is
Martha.
Second series. I had that one as well. The hologram one.
E-Space trilogy.
Oh yeah.
And then if it's also got this, which is a weird spin-off. If you remember Vengeance on Varos?
Yes.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So, this is a little bit well, actually this goes full on Orange Man bad in the last third, but it's still better than what I saw tonight.
Exactly.
Okay,
I'm
so
sure it is.
Again, I'll say it.
What they want
both channels.
put it up next.
Don't forget to subscribe to both channels, though, guys. Right? Blue Bonnet Hoovian and the Rabbi from Another Planet. Yes. And if you just want to, damn, I got tongue tied. And if you want to be in for a chance to win these great prizes, you know what to do. And check him out on Twitter as well. You're on Twitter as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm Twitter on
Twitter as well. If one of the mods want to throw the channels up and also the links to their social media, please. Thank you very much. Right, that was a bit of cheering up, but right, let's look forward to next week. Right, so Tesla. Obviously, we just got to see the little bit that they actually added in the trailer. We got actually nothing new, really. High hopes, guys?
No.
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 This, I just don't know if this. I honestly hoping it doesn't get any worse, but at the same time, if it does, it's going to be a good thing because BBC will have to take stock and take notice. And I hate to say that, but if this is what it takes for BBC to kind of like say, okay, yeah, we need to do something here, then yeah. And we've got a very interesting question here from AJ. Why do you hate her all so goddamn much? And then he did ask, why do you think the Doctor hates white people?
Okay, that's a good question.
That's a fair question. So, well, you just have to look at the evidence of Series 11. It's there to see. I mean, they don't hide away from. I mean, look, for example, I'll give you an example. It Takes You Away is probably the most perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the way that she actually spoke to that single father who had only recently lost his wife, right? And they tried to make it out that it was a child, but it was actually a 16-year-old, wasn't it? Or something like that. She was
she was a teenager.
Yeah, so she was a lot older than they tried to make her out to be. And she went after him viciously because apparently he abandoned his daughter, and he tried to explain, well, I didn't actually abandon my daughter. I'm actually keeping her safe. But that didn't stop her from having a go. Now, it's not the only example. There's more examples throughout Doctor Who of this, especially in this era.
The way she talked to Graham about, like wanting to avenge Grace's death. I mean, that's a good example too.
Yeah, that's why I hate her so much. For the simple fact is she hasn't really endured herself to the fans. She hasn't researched the role. She's admitted all of this. She claims to be a Whovian in a recent interview, but then said she didn't watch much Doctor Who and she didn't watch a lot of it. That's just insulting from someone that's taken over the lead role. She did that stylist video where she had a pop of fans that didn't actually like the idea of a female Doctor. Whether she likes it or not, people are entitled to their opinions. And people have been given out about Doctor Who for years. Sure, BBC have some people on Facebook have been actually shown their letters that they got off the BBC after they sent complaints to the BBC about episodes of Doctor Who back in the day, and the BBC used to write back to them. We're not allowed to complain now, and when we do complain, we're being told that we're racist, sexist, misogynistic, and we're this, that, and the other. Right? We're not. We just want their show to be at a level that it should be at. And right now, she is not right for the role. She's out of her depth. And the showrunner is incompetent and actually is ignored in canon. That is the bottom line. Okay? So I'm sorry if you like her and you think she's great. But for us as a long-term fan, I could see everything that they're doing wrong and it hurts. And you mightn't understand that. That's fair enough. But that's how I feel about it. So I hope I've answered your question. If you two guys would like to add to that, that's okay with me.
Yeah, they really at this point they really don't care what we think. And I mean, but the rant you did earlier about the article about him just being, I mean, we all knew he thought that's not a democracy and all this, and he's going to do what he wants to do, and he doesn't really care what we think about it. And that's a big indication that they don't care.
Yeah. And
I mean, they're going to have to care at some point when it gets so low, but right now,
right. And that's why I'm kind of hoping they keep on this trajectory, because if they do, they'll be getting under 1 million by the end.
They at some point or another they're going to have to just make changes, because it will have to get really low. And at some point, I'm at the point after watching this episode that I just want it to be canceled.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would like to see it come back, but like this is
right.
Horrible. This is like seeing it's like seeing your mother being raped. So something that you've been brought up with and nurtured by and loved your entire life, being abused horribly for some disgusting, immature, ill thought out, ideological, political, social engineering points. And
you being told that you should just like it
for your messaging is disgusting.
And then they tell you, well, you just live with it, just like it.
Yeah. No.
After seeing something like it's like, they're stabbing you in the heart, and there's like, just take it, just like it, just well, keep your mouth shut. And don't watch it if you don't like it.
AJ just wrote out, I don't think that not being a Who fan disqualifies her for the role. Okay, Matt Smith wasn't a Doctor Who fan, but what he did was he actually went back and watched episodes. She has admitted that Chris Chibnall told her not to go and watch, and she watched it later on.
Well, wait a minute. Everyone else gave tons more reasons why other than that. Other people in the chat and you guys said multiple reasons why you were not fans of Jo that had nothing to do with her not being a Who fan.
Well, I'm just answering that question. But he is right. It doesn't disqualify anybody. But it is nice for us as fans if we think that the actor or the actress that's taking the role cares that much about getting the role and doing it justice that they'd actually go and do it anyway. That's the point. She shouldn't have listened to Chris Chibnall. She should have went and actually watched it because she believed in herself. She believed in this show and she wanted to do the best by this show. But she didn't.
I mean, she could have done it, not told him. I wouldn't have told him. I'd have just done it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the point. She doesn't respect the role, and that's why we don't like her. Matt Smith did the right thing, and he went and he told fans his favorite episodes and his favorite stories, and you could see he was becoming a fan because he was really into it, and he put his heart and soul. No matter what anybody says about Matt Smith, and Blue Bonnet Hoovian's not the greatest fan of him, but she will say this totally and agree with me. He put his heart and soul into it.
Right.
You could see that. Look at nobody will. I don't know if many people believe this, right, or know this. But do you remember the 2 Weeping Angel episodes that he did in the forest? The one on the ship.
Yeah.
They were the first time that he filmed Doctor Who. They was the first time he was
Really? Wow, you're right.
the Doctor, right? Now,
Yeah, he
I
was-
did this at the time. You would think he was the Doctor for years because
Right.
he went back, he studied it, he understood the role, and he knew what was expected of him.
Exactly.
Right? And
Yeah.
you know what? Do you know what? Here's the thing. Jodie Whittaker does not know what's expected of her. And you might think that comes across as a bit arrogant or whatever. But as Doctor Who fans, for as long as we are, we expect the actor or the actress to be at a certain level. And she is not at that level. And that's why we don't like her. She's not doing what is expected of her. And neither is Chris Chibnall. So, yeah, but I'm just saying, she's not, you're right. Leave Chris Chibnall out of it. This is about Jodie Whittaker. She's just not doing what's expected of her. And if she did, and then we could criticize Chris Chibnall only because he's the one that's letting her down. But she didn't do what's necessary.
Yeah, and she can't do it. She should step down. Do the right thing and step down.
Exactly.
If you're not doing it properly, you need to admit, okay, this is too much for me. I want to respect the fans. I'm not doing it right. Step down. I know she'll never do that.
Humility.
She's got an ego.
Right, obviously. She's a narcissist.
A chance. But like going back to Matt Smith, you can really genuinely see how the cornerstone of his performance came from Patrick Troughton, two on the side, which you talked about in how he formed the character. You can see that's the building block of his character. And you can equally AJ. Firstly, AJ, thank you so much for coming here and having the other side of the equation. It's really important that us as fans are able to talk with each other. And yeah, I hate it. Obviously, I hate it, but I really love that you came here. So thank you for that.
Right.
But like the reason why I really don't like, she just doesn't have the screen presence. She doesn't see. There's no. Well, there's 2 things. She doesn't have the screen presence. There's no. I don't believe her that she's recording in any way. And also, the way she's being written is as an incompetent doofus, which is something the Doctor's never been before. The Doctor's never been. The Doctor should be the cleverest person in the room who knows more than anybody else, and that's never happened with Whittaker's Doctor. That's not her fault. But if she had researched her role, if she knew what this character was, she wouldn't. She wouldn't be okay with doing that. But she doesn't, and she hasn't. And you know, it's unfair that she will get the blame for this era when it's really Chris Chibnall. I think is the biggest problem. But
here's where like I fault her a little, because I know he said don't do it, and what AJ's saying is that, you know, I know he's her boss, but I do things if it's the right thing. If the boss tells me to do something and it's wrong. Exactly. I'm going to do the right thing regardless if you're my boss or not. If it's you know what I mean? Like,
he's not going to sack her straight away. He's not going to say, well, you shouldn't have done that. I'm going to sack you, because he still needs her to film. You know
right.
what I mean?
And yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to go with your conscience, you know, like you have to. And so for me, like if my boss told me to do something dangerous at work and I'm like, I'm going to go against him. I'm not saying this is the same thing, but you know what I mean? Like, if it doesn't make sense and it's not the right thing to do, I mean, he would never know anyway.
Blue Bonnet is right, but by the way, a lot of actors and actresses in Hollywood have been, they've done a lot of movies based on books, right? And the director would deliberately tell them, some directors would say, well, don't read the source material because we're going to do it our way, right? But the actors always, even in interviews, say, oh, yeah, we read the book, even though the director told us not to. A good actor or actress will actually go with their instinct. And they know the right thing to do is to actually look out and seek for the source material. She didn't do that. And for that, she is guilty. Yes, you're right. Chris Chibnall's writing is atrocious. But right now, we've got a problem with the lead actress in this role. And she is a problem. And she's a big problem, right? The writing is a huge problem too. But if you don't have a lead, look at Peter Capaldi, right? The end of Moffat's era, the writing became pretty shoddy. Let's be honest. There was a good episodes in between, but a lot of them were bad. But it was Peter Capaldi's performance that elevated it. because he understood the role he was playing, because he's been a fan all his life anyway. So he knew how to make bad scripts look good. Whereas Jodie Whittaker can't make bad scripts look good because she's out of our league, unfortunately. And that's not her fault. We're not criticising her for being out of our league. We're criticising because she shouldn't have took the job in the first place. I've always said this from the beginning. She was going into a cauldron. She should have basically been told what she was going into, because she has been shielded, but she should never have took this role. And if she had any sense, she wouldn't have took this role, because apparently Olivia Colman was smart enough. If the rumors are true, she turned down the role. She knew it was going to be just a token role, but Jodie Whittaker doesn't mind that. And as someone has said, yes, she is enjoying it. She's not stepping down because she loves it. I know, you could see it. She loves doing it, but she only loves doing it because she knows she's not going to get a better job than this.
Well, she wants to use it as a stepping stone.
I don't think it's that. I think it's more that she's very, very excited by the social progress that the casting of a woman in the role that represents, and I think that's her main motivation. I think something you're saying. Your last comment, AJ. Yeah, I honestly didn't know until season 12 if it was Jodie or Chibnall or both. And when the scripts for season 12 did improve for the first 2 episodes, and even this episode, at least they had a monster, which they didn't have in it. I think in almost the entirety of season 11. But what this has really done has shown Whittaker to just not have this. In my opinion, okay, your opinion is obviously different, and you're welcome to it. But in my opinion, she just hasn't shown me the strength and the leadership to play this character.
She's no authority.
Yeah,
I just don't believe her when she's on screen. I mean, even when she was up against the Master, I mean, even Sasha, I thought his performance actually overshadowed. It just showed actually that they're at different levels. She is not a great actress, and he is a superb actor, and he just made her look ordinary on the screen. I'm sorry, she does not convince me. And yeah, even Stephen Fry, even the scene with Stephen Fry, you could see she's out of her league. It's just different talent altogether. You could see it. It's clear to see. It's clear to see. That's why they've got so many companions. They're bringing these actors in. They're trying to, basically, fool us, and it's not working. She's just, I just don't know what to say anymore.
Even when she was on screen with Lenny Henry, who's not a particularly good actor, I think he outshined her too.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that's really bad. When somebody who's really not an actor outshines you, it's really bad. That confrontation they had was just ridiculous.
It was
ridiculous.
Did anybody believe that scene on the Eiffel Tower? That was just a complete joke. And Mary Barker has a great comment there. Role requires an experienced actor.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
To Sylvester McCoy, that's not something she can do. Exactly, she's not. She doesn't have the experience or the look. The same could have been said about Matt Smith. He didn't have the experience or the life experience to take this role, but he is really an old man in a young man's body.
But right? I believed he was a doctor, even though he wasn't my favorite.
Whereas
you know what I mean?
Jodie can't do that. She can't put that across on screen. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, we're not saying that Jodie Whittaker's not trying here. God love her, she is trying.
She really is.
She's just not good enough, and that is just
and
it.
I think what's sad in a way, I mean, I guess I do have a little bit of heart, a little black heart, but she's oblivious to it almost. You know what I mean? She's totally oblivious to it in interviews, and she doesn't.
Cheryl says she doesn't think she cares, Blue Bonnet.
Really?
Yeah, Cheryl thinks she doesn't care.
I don't think she cares about the controversy, because when you listen to her on the interviews and stuff, she seems like it's a joke to her that people hate her and she just can't be bothered. And it's a great attitude for an actress.
That's a good attitude just in general, but
But I mean, at least at least concede the point that people don't like you and that's okay. Instead of saying you don't like
Right.
me, therefore you're a sexist, misogynistic piece of crap kind of thing. There's a difference. And I think that's where her real life personality kind of blurs things, because she doesn't come across as gracious for the role or understanding just how much this character in the show means to other people.
You know, you're probably right. I don't think she takes Doctor Who seriously, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Cheryl. I think that's the problem. She does not take Doctor Who seriously at all.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's a role to her. I don't think it's
that's all it is. It's a job, and it comes across like that. It is. This is all this is. I think this is she believes, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, and I don't mind if anybody does, but I think she's like a bit like Meghan Markle right now. She's using Doctor Who.
You know, that is so close.
As a stepping stone. She thinks this is going to lead on to better things.
Wow. Yeah. AJ, was a point you just brought up about her being good in Broadchurch, I think is actually the point. In Broadchurch, she was good because I think she was playing within her range. Broadchurch, she was playing a grieving mother. I think that's what she could conceive of. And she was a supporting actress. She didn't have to carry the show. When Olivia Colman carrying the show.
I didn't even like her in Broadchurch, but...
And I hate the way people make her out that she was the main actress of Broadchurch. It was actually
she was the greatest thing ever.
Olivia Colman. Let's remember, she wasn't in it all the time.
I mean, David Tennant.
Go ahead.
I mean, David Tennant was great. I mean, how did they focus on her and they forget David Tennant?
Yeah, exactly. Because they won't mention him, Blue Bonnet.
No, they don't.
Jodie is the best ever.
But again, AJ, don't listen to us. You keep enjoying. I'm actually jealous of you.
I mean,
I could enjoy it like you.
Okay.
You go ahead, keep enjoying it. And
I wish I could stick my head in the sand and enjoy it, but I just can't.
First of all, super brave to come on to a chat where for most people,
I agree.
100%. You're right.
Yeah, that is very brave.
And well done to everyone in the chat.
Yeah,
for not
exactly.
being rude and
I've thrown.
We should be able to discuss why we like it, why we don't, all that stuff without it being hateful.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm putting AJ's comments up, because everybody's comments are relevant, and he has another one here. So let's read it. My point is, she can be wonderful when she's given the right scripts. Nobody argues with that point.
No, I think we just haven't. Yeah.
Doctor Who is a different level altogether, though. It's acting wise, it's the talent, it's the level that you need to be at. I think is the point I'm making. I don't think she's at that level. I'm glad that you're actually enjoying it. Really, I don't begrudge anybody that likes this. As a Doctor Who fan, I just do not at the moment like this era. I'm sorry, she still hasn't convinced me after 14 episodes that she's the Doctor. She's been written without character and depth, and I want to make that clear. I don't like Chibnall's era. Yeah, we agree with you that Chibnall's a big problem as well. We're not just picking on Jodie. Listen, we agree that Chris Chibnall's a huge problem. Sure, I said it on a stream on Ball Stretch channel. Chris Chibnall is the biggest culprit of all this mess, right? Jodie Whittaker should never have got the role. He should never have put Jodie Whittaker in that position. But she is in it, and just like Chris Chibnall, we have to criticize Jodie Whittaker's performance, because if this was a Peter Capaldi or a Matt Smith or even a David Tennant or Christopher Eccleston in this series, we would be criticizing the writing more than we'd be criticizing the Doctor. For the simple fact is that they were actually all good actors. And this is where I think people, just because she's a woman, we're not allowed to criticize her. Well, I'm sorry, she's a bad actress, and that's just my opinion. And if you think she's a good actress, that's fine. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really am. I'm not messing here. I'm glad that there are some people that are enjoying this, and I'm glad you've come in and you've been nice in the chat, and everybody has been nice. And I'd like to actually say thank you to the chat, because it's not very often that we get someone that likes this era in here, and he's put his points across nice, and that's the way I like it. And if more fans were like you, AJ, that actually like this era, were like you and weren't combative, is that the word? Yeah. Then then I'd welcome you all, to be honest with you, to get a different point of view. You know what I mean? Just to hear what you have to say. But I think she's out of her league. That's my opinion. And I think the rest of the panel would probably agree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
but she
even
should never be
when she's giving a decent script, I mean, you know, and I'm not saying Spyfall was just the greatest ever, but
it was
but even then, like it still wasn't up to par. There was just something off about, you know, even when she toned it down, it was just tolerable, and I don't want tolerable, I want magnetic. And maybe I just have extremely high standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Capaldi. Capaldi was able to do this incredible thing. You already saw it in, what was it, the season 9 opener, the Dalek ones, which is
I love those. Yeah.
You could see these little flicks, these like micro expressions on his face that came from you. You could see like a little flash of Troughton,
Right.
It was incredible, and like only a Doctor Who fan could really pick up on what an incredible performance he was giving, because nobody would notice them otherwise. It was
right. And what was that episode where it was with Bill, and it was like with the and he was on the ship, and he was like at the mast, and it was like it showed him, and he was smiling, like a very Tom Baker smile. What was the name of that episode? I can't remember this.
Ship.
It was like he was standing on the edge, and it was, am I gonna have to look this up? It was in season 10.
Right.
Okay,
and it had Bill Potts, and it was
Oxygen. Was it the Oxygen?
Yeah,
one?
it was the Oxygen arc.
Oh, so one of them with the maybe the monks.
Yes.
The monks, be honest with you.
Yes, it was the monks. What was it? It was the pyramid.
Pyramid at the end of the world.
Yes.
The monks. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That whole 3 episode.
Yeah, and just the way he smiled, it was like
right.
Tom Baker.
Was it Oxygen? It was Knock Knock Oxygen Extremis?
Knock Knock Oxygen and Extremis. Yeah, that's the monk arc, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's.
Knock wasn't part of it. That was the one.
No, Knock was the one in the house with that.
And then what's the 2 after Extremis?
Extremis, the pyramid at the end of the world, and the Lie of the Land.
Yeah, that's the 3 of them. Yeah,
it was probably the Lie of the Land. It was probably, yeah.
Right.
Why do we get Alzheimer's all at the same time?
Exactly the moment you're talking about. Yes.
There, High Desert 004 says the Lie of the Land. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. I just, I didn't. I just lost for words all the time. I just don't know what to say. It's just I didn't think. I still didn't think it'd get this bad. I said it would be interesting to see after the 3rd episode where this is going. I said it can't get any worse than this, but this is Chris Chibnall we're talking about. I mean, where does it go? I don't even know where it goes from here. I mean, I don't know. They need to do something drastic. Do you know what I'd do if I were the BBC? Right, they're 3 episodes in. Right, the ratings are dropping. I'd bring Jodie Whittaker back. Don't care what she's doing. Right, bring Chris Chibnall back and say, right, listen, you have to write the second half of the series different and regenerate her. Get rid of her. Done.
Right now.
Yeah. Or do it just the regen. Do you know what? That special that you just have, actually make that episode 4 and regenerate her. Get it done and over.
And you know, they apparently they've already filmed it, so they can still do it.
Yeah, that what I think what would make more sense is if they just like ran this season out and like put up that episode for next year, which I think they've already filmed. Well, I'm sure she's regenerating.
You know
maybe
what?
2 or 3 episodes on a week. Yeah, stream it over a week. Have it on.
Yeah, like a story arc.
Do you know what's actually? It's all clicking now. This is why they got this out so fast. They knew BBC know that this is actually a shit show, and they threw it out. Because have you noticed noticed, right? They haven't even really been promoting it either during the series run, right? We got the odd trailer or whatever with extra little clips, but even BBC America say, "Oh, you need to watch the end of this episode," and the end of the episode was actually nothing happened. It's like
or something happened, but
watching, getting excited. It's absolutely ridiculous and desperate the tactics that they're using right now. But the fact that they threw it out in January, you'll be finished by March. They knew what they were doing. They got that out quick. And AJ said, because I have to read this out because he has been nice. He just said, "Thank you all for talking with me. I really appreciate that. I do have a few questions. Where should we go from here? I think we should have Adrian Lester as the Doctor and Nicholas Briggs as showrunner." Nicholas Briggs from Big Finish, I would have no problem as showrunner at this stage because Big Finish are pumping out some great stories. As for Oliver Twist himself, because he was Oliver Twist when he was a kid, I have the musical there. I actually recorded it because I love that movie. Adrian Lester, he would make a quirky Doctor. It'd be a bit like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, a cross between Gene Wilder and the Doctor. Yeah, I'd go with that. But for me, Michael Sheen, yeah, I think you need to get someone that's still working on television, and I don't think Adrian Lester has done much, has he? So I would definitely bring in Michael Sheen. That would be my choice for the Doctor.
Okay, that's an interesting question, though. Who do you think Nick Briggs would cast as the Doctor? You know Nick Briggs would.
Yeah, that's interesting. He'd probably get an unknown.
He probably would.
The unknown route because
an older actor as well.
Unknowns, he's good for that. And maybe that, I know we're all saying for established actors, but maybe that wouldn't be a bad route to go down either.
Was it he cast David Tennant in Dalek Empire 4, is it?
Oh, who's it? I got confused between Mark Lester and Adrian Lester. Who's Adrian Lester then?
He was in a Jimi Hendrix movie. He played Jimi. I think he played Jimi Hendrix. No, maybe he didn't play Jimi Hendrix in the movie. No, he didn't play Jimi Hendrix. He was in that movie All by My Side. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Some of it. Oh, he was in that show with John Sim. Was it Trauma?
Oh, right.
Yeah, he was in the with John Sim. I'm looking at it.
Or we're going with female. You want that Olivia Colman? Well, AJ, apparently she turned down the role. I think she was offered the role first, believe it or not. And then when she turned it down, Jodie Whittaker got it. So she has said no. And unfortunately, she's won an Oscar now. So she's never. That's it.
Yeah, she's never coming back.
Unfortunately, because do you know what? Even though I don't agree with a female Doctor, right now I would take Olivia Colman because I know she would turn those crap scripts into something half decent like Capaldi did in his at the end of his run. This is just shocking. I just lost for words. Every week I'm getting lost for words. I mean, I did say Spyfall 1 was an improvement. I didn't personally like Spyfall 2. I didn't like the cliffhanger. That cliffhanger is still actually doing my head in, and I'm still thinking about and trying to figure out ways how he's going to do this. Look, I've said it earlier. This has to be a parallel universe, or do you think that it's not? What do you think, guys? Because it has to be, because all this damage that he's doing, right? I just can't believe. I know he has an ego, and I know he can be vicious when he wants to be, but I don't believe he'd actually really destroy all of this. Is he capable of it? Do you think this is a parallel universe, or do you think this is the Doctor's universe and he's actually destroying everything?
He's destroying everything.
Sorry, go ahead.
He's destroying everything. I mean, I just don't think he's even clever enough to do a parallel universe. He wouldn't be that clever. He's destroying the past like they did with, I mean, like this Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams has destroyed Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think it's in the eye of the beholder. I think for us to think of it as in a parallel universe, we have enough knowledge of Doctor Who that we could sell that to ourselves. I think instead this is real Doctor Who, and But again, I am convinced there's going to be somebody who comes after him who's going to wipe all this away and put the toys back in the box and do something great. I don't know who. I live in hope of it. Yeah, I'm a rabbi. I live in hope of a savior coming. What do you want to say?
Colin says that their parallel universe would be the only way to undo the damage, I think, but Chibnall's ego won't allow that.
Yep.
See, that's the problem and the fear that I actually have, that his ego won't allow him. If he does that, if he retcons the whole of Doctor Who's past and actually disrespects every single man that has played the Doctor before Jodie Whittaker, I am done. And I know if it comes back, I'll probably give it a go to get it right. But I don't know if I'll be able to forgive that. I don't know.
It's hard to say until it happens.
I know.
It really is. And that's the part that I don't like. It's just the not knowing. Because I had to know everything. That's just the way I am. But you can't. You have to just hope and pray that somebody. I mean, Nicholas Briggs that's the perfect choice. That's what needs to happen. To be honest.
I agree. At this stage, we need a miracle, don't we?
Yeah.
So I would pair Nicholas Briggs up with somebody with more like mainstream TV experience. Like you'd have like he would be like a head writer, and you'd have to have somebody with a more like if you put him together with someone like Phil Collinson, who did the RTD era with Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be good.
Then that's because this is a very hard show to produce. There's a lot going on.
Right, he would need somebody to assist, obviously.
You know, Chibnall could probably assist him. That would
no, I don't want Chibnall anywhere near the show.
Here's the thing, though. His ego wouldn't allow him to play second fiddle to anybody anyway. That's what they should have done in the first place. I agree with you, Rob. That's exactly what they should have done in the first place. If you're going to bring Chris Chibnall on board, they should have brought someone else and say, listen, the two of you are going to actually run this show together, because the other person involved would have been able to say, look, you can't really do that. That's what Chibnall needs. He needs someone to tell him, look, you can't really do that in a Doctor Who episode. Come on, you're supposed to be a fan, remember? You know, I think he's forgotten what it is. Do you know what I said it the other night? And I hate to say this, but I don't think he ever was a fan of this show. I think he just, because he criticised it in the past, I just think this is his way of actually, as I said, to get his own back on those people that he felt had done wrong to the show, and he's going to just kill it off because he's just bitter. He's a bitter old man with the issues. He takes his anger out on the fans. We've seen that with the little digs that he's had. He is just not capable of running this show the way it should be run, and it's disgraceful. And Piers Wenger, who hired him, ought to be ashamed of himself as well. And as head of BBC Drama, he should actually step down as well. Not just Chibnall. He was the guy that gave Chibnall the job. So it's from the top to the bottom. Get rid of them all.
Well, that's why Chibnall's never going to be fired, because that means everybody above him has to be fired. There's never going to be an accountability. I think this is just a storm we have to weather. You know, this really it is. That's the way. The only way to look at it is this. Hopefully, one day this is going to end.
Yeah. AJ is saying good night to everybody. He's just
thank you for being so kind.
Yes.
You'd be surprised, AJ. You know, everybody thinks that us fans are toxic. We're actually not, believe it or not. We're very welcoming. What we don't like is when fans of this era, and I'm not saying you, but when fans of this era don't like what we have to say and actually see the way you did it, the way you ask questions and stuff. That's great. But most of the fans of this era, there's a good majority of them will just throw insults at you. So I'm going to thank you for actually coming on tonight and actually asking questions instead of like what normally happens with fans of this show. So thanks very much and good night and look after yourself. Hope to see you again. Right, so let's go. It needs to be cancelled for a while again until this woke nonsense is over. Oh, well, that's the fear though. If it goes off telly, I don't think it will come back. I'm not convinced Chibnall will ever like the show, says Moons of Madness. I agree. Nobody writes, look at Moffat's writing was bad in parts, but the majority of it was actually pretty okay, right? Now, there was times where he would take out his anger on fans, but generally you could see that guy loved the show, and he did, right? Because he tried to bring Gallifrey back, and in some ways he did succeed. I still fault some of it, but he brought it back anyway, right? He just he showed his love. RTD as well. When he brought it back, I remember the first interview was watching RTD, and you could see it. He was beaming with joy when he announced that he was bringing Doctor Who back. It was just such a joyous time it was, and I couldn't believe how excited I was. And I was going through a rough time in my life, and Doctor Who came back at the right time. So I will always have a special place for Doctor Who in my heart, and this is why it kills me to criticize it, because I don't want to be criticized. I want to be sitting here praising it every week, saying how fantastic it was, and actually convincing new people to join the fandom. But I'm not. I'm actually convincing people to walk away because it's that bad, and that's a shame. It's a shame because I should be sitting here praising it. We should be here every week with beaming smiles on our faces and saying how brilliant it was and how it kept us at the edge of our seat and how we're loving the Doctor and how the showrunners really care about the fans and the show. But they don't. And that's why you see more and more channels popping up talking about these kind of issues, because it's happening and the fandom has been completely destroyed because of this era. So this era has done a lot of damage, and we would look at Rabbi's face there. You could see it. That it absolutely doesn't know. You know what I mean? We're all devastated here. Blue Bonnet's the same. We're all devastated. The reason why I keep knocking off the camera is because I'm actually really annoyed and upset right now. I just can't face looking at myself in the camera because I can see the sadness in my face, and it's making me depressed. I should be sitting here praising this show, but I'm actually slating it, and it breaks my heart. And
I wish it was back on Saturday, so at least I have a whole day to kind of, decompress before I have to go back to work. Because I got to go back to work tomorrow with like this, hanging over.
What you'll be thinking of it all day.
All day. Well, I mean, when I'm not doing something, but yeah.
Something else will just pop into your head. It's the way it is, and then you'll say, "Oh Jesus, he did that as well." Like,
I'll wake up in the morning and go, "Oh my God, what was that?" Because I'll forget. You're sleeping, you're happy, and you wake up, and then yeah.
I don't know. We'll see where we go from here, but we should be discussing. Hold on, let's see. Dan put up a comment. We should be discussing the theories of the. I took it off. Sorry, hold on. We should be discussing the theories of the series rather than what we are discussing. Let's see. And then he followed it up because I think someone asked him to elaborate. And the second comment is, back when we would discuss what Bad Wolf was, the crack in the wall, who River Song was, etc. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, but there's none of that going on in this series, really.
Oh, by the way, speaking of the theories, somebody put a bunch of screen grabs up. I don't remember if I saw it. The Timeless Child is a small, dark-skinned girl.
Yeah, is a girl. Yeah,
and clearly, evil right men, like the evil right men of Rassilon, will steal Time Lord technology from her, or something stupid like that.
See, we'd love to be sitting here talking about theories as well. Seriously, Dan.
Who cares? Who cares about the things they set up in the show?
But there's nothing. But it's not keeping us interested. That's what I mean. It's just tonight's episode is just, and for BBC America to actually say, watch the end of it. What did I miss something? Did I actually miss something? Was I supposed to get something there? Is this some secret story arc that we're not aware of? Like, everybody can see the direction this show is going in, and we know where it's going. He's going to retcon the past because he's already done it with Unit, Torchwood, and now with Gallifrey. He's destroyed Gallifrey after Moffat tried with all his power and might to bring it back, and then he just gets rid of it just to be controversial. Now, here's the thing. if he doesn't bring Gallifrey back, then again I'm going to be angry because why? You know what I mean? That's actually like pissing on everything that Stephen Moffat did. You know, and that's disrespectful. And someone actually made a comment earlier, and I should have put it up. And someone asked, "I wonder what RTD and Stephen Moffat actually think of this current era." Well, no,
I think they hate it. I think
secretly, yeah, I agree, Rabbi.
Doctor Who fan hates this. I mean, old school Doctor Who fan. I think Mark Gatiss hates it. I think they hate it.
They can't say that though.
They're not going to say anything in public.
It's sad. It's just, yeah, I'd say they would be hating it. And I mean, Sydney Newman and all involved in bringing the show to the screen in the first place will be absolutely gutted.
See, again, that's something I would like. Could you imagine like a like Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing with Sydney Newman and Variety Lambert sitting in the audience, like, hearing their commentary on this? That's something I would watch.
I would watch that.
Yeah, I'd watch Ant over Doctor Who now, which is sad to say.
That's it's being really it's on Twitter. It's like, oh.
Someone has asked, has Mark commented? I doubt they'd actually come out and criticize while Chibnall is the boss. Apparently, they're all friends, so I don't think they'd actually say anything to him, to his face, to be honest with you, because, you know, if there was a fallout, we probably would hear. I would like there to be some sort of fallout between those three, because then I love Mark and Stephen Moffat to come out and start criticising this era. I think that's what we need now. I think we need a former showrunner to come out and actually say this is not what Doctor Who is supposed to be. And it doesn't matter if they don't work for the BBC anymore. They're good enough they get work for other channels or other networks. They don't have to worry about working fans. And fans like us will get behind any project that they do because they came out and they've stood by us and said, yes, we agree what the fans are saying. This isn't Doctor Who. This is not the way it should be. But unfortunately, if you have tried Peter Davison and he was hounded off Twitter, apparently Sylvester McCoy doesn't like it, but he's kind of reined back his opinions. We all know what Colin Baker's opinion is, and he was clever as well. And the fact, well, I was told he lives with a lot of women, so he's naturally a feminist. So I don't blame him for that. But the rest of them have been very careful about what criticism they've given the show, because they have seen what's happened to Peter Davison. And you know what these fans are like. And I think people are scared to say stuff. And I just love one of them. One of them to just come out and say, no, this isn't Doctor Who. And wait till you see the shitstorm it would cause. And that's what we need. But unfortunately, I don't think any of them would.
Yeah, I think the only hope of that happening is if they're on a hot mic or something, you know, so it happens by accident.
Right.
Or you get Stephen Moffat drunk.
Yeah.
And then you start talking
okay, that you can do.
I would just love to see what, like, a hot mic on Peter Capaldi about, you know, the reason he got let go and what happened. That would be awesome to hear that.
Yeah,
I think we want the truth on that, but we'll never get it.
Right.
I like this comment.
It's coming up to 1:40 this morning for me.
Yeah, there's a comment there. Doctor Who inspired me to do astrophysics degree, and now it's turned into this, and it's so upsetting. I haven't even watched tonight's episode, and it hurts not to watch Doctor Who, but it isn't. Wow.
Yeah, right. But it also hurts to watch Doctor Who. So
I think it hurts worse to watch it. I mean, you know, it's like, yeah, I can see that. But...
Oh, Moffat has actually come out, apparently. I think Moffat's already come out and criticised this era for being too political. I know he did that video where he did an interview with Mark, and he was saying that the Doctor shouldn't pander to one side or the other. But right. I think that was a while back. That
was on the Pertwee DVD, I think.
Jordan Series 11. So maybe that was a slight little dig. You're probably right, but he needs to come out straight and say it. He he has to actually come out and say the words, "This isn't Doctor Who."
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Christian.
Can you imagine how bad it has to be for that to happen?
Sure, apparently he doesn't listen to, well, he does. We know he does actually read reviews because the clown makes it so obvious with these little digs at the fans, right? But the thing about it is, if I would just, it just takes one person, even an old actor, even an actor from the previous couple of eras, even if one of them was to come out and someone that was actually good in it that we all actually admire came out and said something about this, it would start something off. Or as someone said, yeah, Tom Baker, he would be the perfect one. Nobody would argue with Tom Baker. And if they did, I tell you now, if fans argued with Tom Baker, trust me, there'll be a wall of us standing in front of them.
Look what happens at Star Trek. The Star Trek Discovery fans, they attacked William Shatner.
Yeah.
It's like there's no respect. Don't think anybody's going to get any respect.
Yeah, that's the thing. But we defend them. That's the thing. You'd have us defend them. And trust me, there's a lot more of us than there is of them.
That is true. Well, what's Rotten Tomatoes at now?
Someone said earlier 6%. I think it's gone up again.
Went up. What a shame.
You know what? I think Rotten Tomatoes are kind of having a bit of fun with that. To be honest with you.
Yeah, well, listen, they're getting more people going to their site, aren't they?
Yeah,
doing that. Okay, chaps, I have to go to bed. I'm too tired.
No problem. Sure, I'm gonna finish up now. We're near we're 2 hours and 40 minutes in anyway. So I think that's enough of a review of this crap show anyway. Crap episode, crap showrunner, crap doctor, crap supporting cast except for Bradley Walsh. Bradley, we love you. You're the only decent thing in Doctor Who right now. And sorry that you're actually tainted with this era, but we look forward to seeing you again. Well, as far as I'm concerned, when I'm rooting for the master all the way.
I think everyone is.
Yeah.
Except the J-Bot.
Give you our channels a quick plug there before you all head off, and I'll just make a few announcements, and then we'll finish the stream.
I am the Rabbi from Another Planet. I think my link, my channel link, is in the
description.
The description, that's the word.
And in the live chat as well.
Yeah. I'll put it in the live chat. And again, I'm doing the DVD giveaways for the next couple of months to help people get through this hard time.
There you go. And he should receive a sainthood, by the way, by the church. So if you are listening. Oh yeah, synagogue. He deserves the highest honor.
I'm confused, but thank you.
Sorry. He deserves the highest honor because he's doing good work.
Okay, thank you.
He's bringing joy to people's lives, and we need it right now.
Yes, we do. Hopefully one day we'll go get that from Doctor Who again.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Right, Blue Bonnet, go ahead there. And our channels are in the live chat, by the way.
Okay, I'm Blue Bonnet Whovian. I have a YouTube channel, and I do Doctor Who reviews and streaming reviews, like from Netflix, Prime, and on Saturdays I've been doing live streams with my husband, and we've been discussing classic episodes the last couple times, and then he just started watching Blake 7, so we're going to do a Blake 7 stream. Ooh, and then eventually Space 1999 stream. I started watching Blake 7 and I absolutely love it. So we're going to try to do something maybe this weekend with that. I'm not sure. Hopefully I'll get caught up with him and we'll see. But please like and subscribe.
Nice. Plenty to look forward to. And as I said, it's in the link description, both channels, and are also in the live chat there. Guys, thank you for actually joining me this evening. I know it's been a bit depressing, but I will see you during the week, and I'll talk to you next weekend when we review another one. Oh, geez. And yeah. Okay, guys, go on.
All right, night.
Night, everybody.
Announcements and stuff, and I got a super chat there that I have to read out. So I'll let you guys go.
All right.
Thanks for joining me.
Night, everyone. Thank you.
And tell your husband we're all asking. We're hope mother does.
Yeah, I hope she's okay too. You know, I'll let him know. But thank you, Noel, for having us on. I appreciate that. Fun as always. All right.
No
Bye.
problem. Rabbi, good night. Good night, Blue Bonnet. And Lone Wolf has a £2 super chat. Great stream, guys. I feel a little bit better now. Thank you, Lone Wolf. Don't forget, I will be back tomorrow night for a live stream. I'll also probably have a couple of videos during the day as well. There'll be plenty of articles on this, so we'll see what the newspapers have to say tomorrow. I might just do one video and just do a couple of articles on it. It'll be probably better that way. And then we'll have the stream, as I said, later on that night. Then join me Wednesday, because I'll have Ballstreck on Wednesday. Blue Bonnet will be joining me, Starry-Eyed Girl. And I'm going to be asking a few more people to come on. I've already asked them, so I'm just waiting. So we will have a big panel on Wednesday. So join me on Wednesday. Listen, guys, good night. I will talk to you all tomorrow, and stay safe. Bye-bye.